made to strangers, but when the stakes are higher, we
And good evening, everyone, and welcome into another KDSJ Sports broadcast as we come to you from the center of South Dakota on a football Friday night. It is the Spearfish Spartans making the road trip here to Pierre for their 8th game of the season as they square off against the Pierre Governors tonight right here on KDSJ Sports. We have you covered across the platforms this evening at KDSJ 980 AM, 103.5 FM, KDSJ980.com, and with the KDSJ mobile app, as well as over at KDSJ-TV with YouTube Live and Facebook Live. You can watch the game for free over there at those different platforms. I'm Cody Oliver, Clayson Davis along with you as we get ready for the second to final game of the regular season, having the Spearfish Spartans ranked number 2 in the state in the Class 11 AA polls. They hit the road to take on the 3-4 Pierre Governors for Friday Night Football this week. The second to last game of the season. It has gone by fast, and it's finally feeling like football weather here on this Friday night.
Yeah, thank you, Cody. It's feeling, pretty footballish out there here in the capital city of Pierre. A little breezy when we first got here, but a little chilly now, and once the sun officially goes away, really haven't seen the sun much all day here in Pierre with the cloudy skies, but once the sun and the light kind of shuts off on us, it's going to get really cool. So it's going to be pretty chilly. Both teams are both amped up, ready to go. They can't feel the temperature, and no, we're in for a good one here in the capital city of Pierre. Not raining here like it is in the Black Hills earlier today, so we have 53 degrees and overcast and cloudy skies here as we're about 27 minutes away from kickoff here at Hollister Field in Pierre, just a block away from the state capitol, and a nice regular grass field here in Pierre as the Spartans make the road trip out here, about a 3-hour trip to take on the Governors. Spearfish comes in 6-1 on the season, number 2 in the state by the media polls. They're about number 3 when it comes to the seeding, and then the power points for the Pierre Governors. They're 3-4 in the season. They snapped their 4-game losing streak with a win, a close one, at Sturgis last Friday night. Meanwhile, the Spearfish Spartans coming off of a 58-0 win at home against Douglas last Friday. So both of these teams coming off some W's as we come down the wire here in the regular season. And coming up here in our countdown to kickoff and being brought to you by Jake's Collision Repair, we'll have an interview with the Spearfish Spartans head coach Tom Teason. We'll also catch up with John Winkler, the voice of the Pierre Governors over at KCCR Radio here in Pierre. We'll have his thoughts on how things have gone as he's followed the team every step of the way during their 7-time state championship streak, as well as throughout the games this year. So we'll get his perspective. We have your starting lineups. We have the Laying the Foundation segment, the matchup menu. It's all coming up right here on KDSJ. I'm Cody Oliver, Clayson Davis over at KDSJ-TV. We'll take a break, and Clayson was able to catch up with the head coach of the Spearfish Spartans, first-year head coach Tom Teason. That's on the way next, right here on KDSJ Sports.
What life throws in your direction, Dana Dental Arts and Spearfish reminds you to make you and your family's dental health a top priority. Putting off small problems now can lead to big ones later. We are small enough to feel like family, but big enough to bring you the latest technology. Before your lives get too hectic with school, sports, and other extracurricular activities, schedule a comprehensive exam now. We love our patients. Celebrating 50 years of dentistry in Spearfish.
Let our family care for your family.
Whether you've lived here for years or if you're new to town, everyone wants to know the best place to buy a quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, or where to go to have your current ride kept in shape. Brandon Kemp here from Superior Auto Solutions in Spearfish. Need new tires? We got them, all major brands. Your brakes squeaking, or do you just hear something that's not quite right? We can help. Or maybe you're looking to upgrade to something a little more suitable. Well, you came to the right place. Superior Auto Solutions on Colorado Boulevard in Spearfish, or find us online at superiorautost.com.
Collision Repair pregame show, laying the foundation with Heiserling Concrete here in Spearfish, joined now by Spearfish head football coach Tom Teason. Coach Teason, you guys had a lot of fresh faces in there with that Douglas win last week. How would you grade the performance of your team last week?
Well, I thought I loved our energy right off the bat. They came to play, and they wanted to play Spartan football. You know, every week we anticipate 0-0 and that it's going to be a battle, and our guys came out strong and played the way that they're capable, and really executed in all 3 phases of the ball. Offense, defense, and special teams all really looked great. Hopefully we can continue that into the future, and I think we will. I think we've really turn that corner to be a more consistent team of reaching our potential. And seeing that attitude and effort was awesome to see on Friday night.
You guys had a lot of new faces in that Douglas game. How pleased with you seeing some of the depth show up against Douglas?
Absolutely. That was, something that you need later in the season and to make a postseason run is some depth because, you need to get guys healthy. You need to get guys rest. And the more guys you have to count on in vital roles that have some experience, the better off you are. So I thought the guys that we were able to roll in at some positions did a great job of stepping up into that and really showing that they deserve some varsity time.
Speaking of injuries, take a look at our injury report. How does that look for this week going into Pierre?
We're getting Dylan Doran back from an ankle injury. He's looking great. He's been working hard this week in order to be back to his full self. We're still missing Aiden Crott, waiting on some news from him. That's a big injury on the D-line and special teams for us, not just from an athlete standpoint, but he was a great guy, great leader for us. So we're still waiting on him. And another great leader, great kid that we are waiting on is Jack Coat, who suffered a big injury in Aberdeen. And he's getting closer every week to getting back, and can't wait to see him on the field, but I'm excited with how the guys have stepped up to fill in for them.
As Coach Teason joins us with our Jake's Collision Repair pregame show, laying the foundation to this matchup brought to you by Heiserling Concrete. Turning our attention to the 7-time defending state champion of Pierre Governors. A little bit of a down year, 3-4 on the year, but what have you seen from Pierre that you guys need to be prepared for?
Well, obviously, every week we're 0-0. We want to go out and play Spartan football. I know they're going to be hungry for a win. They've had a tough schedule. If you look at those 4 losses that they've had, they're all great teams, very tough teams. And so, they're going to be competitive with anybody. And this year, 11 AA, any given Friday night, it depends on how the ball falls sometimes and who's showing up to play. So it's an open field. I know they're not going to be handing over the win to us. They're well coached. They've got some good D linemen and linebackers. They've got some young kids that have stepped into roles, and this is the time of year that young guys are really starting to figure stuff out. So this is as deadly of a team that Pierre has had this year. So we're going to have to, really be confident in what we're doing and consistent with the kind of talent that we have, and be ready for a ball game.
The Pierre Governors team that has had Spearfish's number the past few seasons. I don't remember the last time Spearfish has beaten Pierre. And, of course, the 103-0 mark that has kind of left a stain on the program. How the kids have been treating going up against an opponent like Pierre this week?
They're excited. Every week they get excited to show the state what kind of team we are. Whether we win, lose, we know we're going to go out there and fight and give everything we got, and hopefully leave that team going, man, we don't want to play those guys again. They hit hard, they play hard. And so going into the game, knowing that we can compete with anybody this year, and that we want to compete with people, and that we love those tough, drag it out, fight games. We're excited for the opportunity to go play a good team and see where we come out.
And finally, Coach, what are your keys to the win tonight versus the Pierre Governors?
I think same keys to the game as everything. Controlling the line of scrimmage. If you can control the line of scrimmage, you can do a lot of great things. We have some new wrinkles on some plays that we're going to run that we think we can take advantage of their scheme defensively and offensively. And then, they've got a great player in Cooper Twirlinger. We got to shut him down. We've got some good things there planned up, and giving our guys some advantageous matches on offense as well.
Awesome, Coach. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck in tonight's matchup.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was head football coach for the Spearfish Spartans, Tom Teason. When we return, we'll have a John Winkler from our sister station here in Pierre, KCCR. He joins us as he talks about the wild state of a Class AA football that has been the 2024 season. As John Winkler from KCCR Radio joins us next on our Jake's Collision Repair pregame show.
Repair has built their reputation by offering the highest quality, guaranteed repairs in the area. Satisfied customers return again and again for everything from collision repair to custom paint, glass and windshield, and the best hail repair in the region. They're preferred by most insurance companies and work with all of them. Jake's Collision Repair of Spearfish and Sturgis. Give them a Google today for the best repair on your vehicle, guaranteed.
At Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
You see them everywhere. That's because Heinzerling Concrete of Spearfish is the most trusted name for everything from driveways, sidewalks, decorative stamp patios, and of course, foundations. Heinzerling Concrete is proud to support the activities that help our area youth build their foundation for future success. Whatever the job, Heinzerling Concrete is the name you can trust. Google Heinzerling Concrete in Spearfish or call 210-2320.
Jake's Collision Repair pregame show, and it's time to lay the foundation, being brought to you by Heinzerling Concrete. It's time to get a Pierre Governor perspective on things for tonight's matchup with the Spartans. Joining us from one of our sister stations out in Pierre and KCCR Radio is their sports director. John Winkler joins us once again here on KDSJ Sports. Thanks a lot, John.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Cody.
It's been some struggles, mainly with injuries, I hear, this year.
Yeah, there's been several injuries. It kind of felt like I wouldn't say it all happened at once, but it felt like it just kept happening. You know, the first week had one of the offensive linemen go down about 3 plays in, and then finally got healthy a couple weeks ago. And then the stud tight end of Cooper Twilliger, he left the Yankton game and then came back and played the second half of the Sturgis game and trying to nurse that shoulder injury back into it. There's guys that tore an ACL, other guys that have been out for a game or so. Another offensive lineman, Tucker Ott, broke his leg in warm-ups before the Yankton game. So it's just been injury after injury, feeling like for the Pierre Governors. And, you know, they're not used to it. It's kind of crazy because they haven't had a whole lot of big injuries over the last 7-8 years. And this year it feels like almost every single week there's another guy that's going down.
This is Game 8 for both the Governors and the Spartans. The Golden Eagles have given the Spartans their only loss. They were going even with their backup quarterback in that game, and they scored a late touchdown to get the victory. But you guys were able to get a win over Aberdeen Central back in August. Tell us more about that matchup.
You know, that's the thing for the Pierre Governors, and in that game against Aberdeen Central, they didn't turn the ball over. And if the Governors don't turn the ball over, and that's kind of, you know, the cliche of, if we don't turn the ball over, we put ourselves in a good spot. But in the 4 losses for the Governors, outside of really the O'Gorman game, didn't really turn the ball over. Yankton, they turned the ball over a little bit, not as much. But if Pierre does not turn the ball over and has those drives, that they are a good football team that can go put up some points.
As we hear from the voice of the Governors, John Winkler from KCCR Radio, right there in Pierre. Last week you made the road trip out west here to go up against the Sturgis Coopers. Cooper came back as your tight end. He stepped up big there in the second half.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, that's, you know, a guy that kind of, you know, they talk about security blankets. He's kind of a security blanket for the offense. If all the things fail, you can look for Cooper Twilliger because he's such a big target to begin with and a very good athlete and a very good football player that I think that helped get the confidence going for the entire team, not just offense, but on defense too. And you hope that kind of carries then into this week and then going into the next couple of weeks as the playoffs are getting ready to begin, because the Governors are, you know, they need him to play, but they need that offense to get back to where they want it to be.
Not much offense for the Governors in the first half last week at Sturgis. It was just a field goal by your kicker, Carter Templeton. Talk a little bit about the special teams for Pierre.
For Templeton to make that, he's just a freshman, and to make a field goal at any point in any game is a big spot to have. He missed I think a 30 or 40-yard field goal, but missed it just wide left and missed it barely wide left. It had plenty of distance to it. He's got a really good leg that after that, you know, making a field goal, you start to feel pretty confident. That also then helps the rest of the offense feel confident that, hey, you don't have to go get a touchdown. We can still get points because we got a guy that that will help us get points if we just can't score, put it in the end zone.
Let's talk a little bit about Carter Merrill, your running back.
He's a guy that kind of stepped into the role. Trevor Rounds deals with a little bit of a hand injury. Had a broken bone in his hand, and they kind of went with him in the second half of the Brookings game. And he's a quick moving man who just, he can get around the edge, but he can go up the middle and just kind of sneak his way through. And he's really turned into one of the backs and the back for the Governors to get the football handed to him. Which has been good and been able to kind of help alleviate some of the passing hits, because the Governors also had struggled to get the run game going, which then you start keying on the pass, and it then doesn't really, the pass doesn't work because everybody's dropping back in coverage. Now they have that dynamic of being able to run and pass the football, and you have to respect both of it, which is a big help with Merrill stepping in that spot.
Both of these teams met in the first round of the playoffs last year out in Pierre, as the Governors won that game, went on to win their 7th straight state championship. And, of course, Pierre has been the top of the heap over the past several years. We've seen T area and Yankton as part of some threats in the years past. But this year, my goodness, Class 11 AA, it is a hodgepodge and a mixture of who wants to be number one each week. This is as crazy as Class 11 AA has been in a while.
Yeah, considering, the Spearfish right now, they're the only team with less than 2 losses, and we still got 2 games to go. And that usually doesn't happen in 11 AA. Usually doesn't happen in any classes, that there's teams that usually have at least 1 to 2 teams, the 3 teams that have one or fewer losses. If Aberdeen Central can win both their games, Governors can win. If they do win both their games, you're looking at 6 of the 8 teams, or 7 of the 8 teams over 500 at the end of the season, which is kind of crazy to say that too. But everybody is all pushed in there. It is as wide open as it can be. And if depending on how tonight's game goes between Spearfish and Pierre, if Pierre does win, then all of a sudden that opens it even a little bit wider. And a Spearfish, though, if they win, maybe that kind of closes the gap a little bit of being a few fewer teams in there. But there's just a lot of fun that can happen over the next couple of weeks in the playoffs, because it's really hard to count out any 5 through 8 teams right now. All those lower seeds. Other years, you're saying, man, it would be great if they can get upset. This year, going, I think they got a shot to maybe upset these teams.
And from a Spearfish Spartan perspective, still don't know if I have 100% confidence, because we don't see Brookings or Yankton here in the regular season. We almost lost to Huron. We did lose to Aberdeen Central, and then we go on the road and knock off number 1 Watertown. So that's just kind of tells you how Class 11 AA has been this year.
Yeah, any given night, if things work well for a team, that the lower seed could get a win, but at the Watertown after they beat Pierre, had beat Yankton, beat Pierre, and you thought, okay, this team's probably going 7-1 the rest of the year. And then Spearfish comes along and says, maybe not so fast. Maybe we get to go 8-1 on the season. But and then of course now this game tonight, maybe they don't end up with 1 loss. Maybe they end up at 7-2. And you look at the Pierre Governors and say, well, they should be 7-2 or 6-3, and all of a sudden they drop 4 in a row and we're 2-4 in the season. They're going, they may not get over 500 at the end of the season, which that was not really expected, and they might be a 7 or 8 seed by the time the year comes to an end.
So from Jeff Duffy over in Huron to John Winkler in Pierre and Cody Oliver in Spearfish, we still don't know what's going on in Class 11 AA football. But coming up tonight, we have the Spartans taking on the Governors. Let's talk about the Governors' defense against the Spartans' offense. From what you've heard about Spearfish, what do you think are some keys to the game for the Govs on D?
This defense is, when they're at their best, they are flying around the football, and they're able to stop both facets of the game. If the run is starting to pick up, they really clamp down. That defense line is very good. Elijah Bucci's on that line, who will play college football somewhere. He has not made his decision, but he's wanting to play college football and does have some offers. But if that run game starts to pound its way through, and all of a sudden you got to tie everybody in, that Spearfish offense can really make fits for a lot of teams because they run and pass the ball so well.
As the Spartans take on the Govs coming up, thanks for being a part of our pregame show.
Cody, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling, and it was good talking to you.
Once again, John Winkler joins us in our Jake's Collision Repair pregame show as we lead up to kickoff tonight. We'll be back with more right after these. And back to the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth here on this Friday night as we get set for another evening of high school football on an evening that will be feeling like football here in mid-October as the Spearfish Spartans hit the road to take on the Pierre Governors. Our countdown to kickoff and our pregame show being brought to you by Jake's Collision Repair, the Black Hills home team for collision repairs, located at 4415 East Colorado Boulevard in Spearfish and off exit 32 at Junction Avenue in Sturgis. As we have our countdown to kickoff, we're still about 8 minutes away from this game getting underway. A matchup of Class 11 AA teams that has Spearfish coming in number 2 in the media poll and Sturgis at about number 6 in the rankings as Spearfish comes in 6-1 and the Pierre Governors 3-4. Again, our broadcast booth is over here on the Pierre Governors side of things. We'll have their fans underneath of us here on the grandstands. And as we look across from the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth, the Spearfish Spartans will be on the other side with the Spartan Faithful right behind them in the bleachers. Thanks to Monument Health, the official sports medicine provider to several area high schools in the Black Hills and northeastern Wyoming. As we had our Laying the Foundation segment brought to you by Heiserling Concrete, our own Clayson Davis was able to catch up with the Spartans head coach Tom Teason, and I had a chance to hear from John Winkler, the voice of the Governors over at KCCR Radio, one of our sister stations through Riverfront Broadcasting. So thanks to John for joining us, and he's at the other end of the broadcast booth here tonight supporting the Governors. The Pierre Governors under head coach Steve Steele as they take on the Spearfish Spartans under head coach Tom Teason. Coach Teason played for the Spartans. He's been an assistant coach for the last several years and now the first-year head coach of Spearfish. It's time for our matchup menu being brought to you by Beef Logic and the South Dakota Beef Industry Council. Well, the matchup of these two teams in Class 11 AA, they met last year in the first round of the playoffs. Pierre was able to defeat Spearfish in that first round, just one step on their way to go into their 7th straight state title. But this is a new season. So far, Spearfish right now ranked 3rd in the seeding points. They're 6-1 with 42 seeding points, but it's pretty close. Up above them is Yankton at 42.1, and then Watertown exactly the same at 42.1 as well. So tied at the top with Spearfish right there, number 3, just ahead of 5-2 Brookings. The Pierre Governors right now tied in a 3-way spot for the number 6 spot in Class 11 AA out of the 11 teams that are in the division. Pierre is 3-4. They have 39 seed points compared to Spearfish's 42. Pierre is 1-3 on their home field this year. Meanwhile, Spearfish is 3-1 on the road. Pierre is 0-3 against teams that are above 500. Spearfish is. Meanwhile, the Spearfish Spartans are 4-1 against teams that are below 500. Spearfish is averaging 30 points per game compared to Pierre's 17, and Spearfish gives up about 13 points per game. As we have a look at our matchup menu again here, being brought to you by Beef Logic and the South Dakota Beef Industry Council. Our matchup here on this football Friday night has the Pierre Governors hosting the Spearfish Spartans. We'll be back with your other games and starting lineups after these.
At a fair price. That's what you expect, and that's what you'll get at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or to grab a bite to eat before or after the game. Choose from daily specials, and a trip to the fresh soup and salad bar is always a hit. Plus, the Millstone can accommodate larger groups, like buses or your next meeting in their private party room. So, if it's just you and a friend or the whole team, get a great meal at a great price. The Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish.
American Colloid, a minerals technologies company, is not only part of the community we live in, they are the community. Bentonite clay, mined right here in our own backyard near Belle Fourche in Colony, Wyoming, provides a contributing factor to this area's economic success. This unique product has a huge range of uses, from the main component in cat litter to health and beauty products, pharmaceuticals, and more. It's all produced right here in all of our community. American Colloid Company, working together, winning together.
For over 10 years, Allied Construction has been a trusted name in the Black Hills, providing top quality construction services to our local community. We take pride in being a local business with deep roots in the area. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust us to deliver exceptional results on every project. Our team is dedicated to providing personalized service, ensuring your project gets the attention and expertise it deserves.
Check out their website today. Click alliedconstruction.com or find them on Facebook.
And let's have a look at the other matchups around the area as we continue with our matchup menu throughout the Black Hills Conference, Western South Dakota, and some of the main games across 11AA and across the state here on this Football Friday. We'll start first up in Belle Fourche tonight at Lou Grassley Field, a matchup of winless teams tonight as Lakota Tech visits Belle Fourche. The Broncs looking for their first win of 2024 as the two teams battle there in Class 11A. Number 4 Brookings is at Douglas tonight. In the Black Hills Conference, St. Thomas More is at Lee Deadwood as the Gold Diggers will be wrapping up the season tonight there at beautiful Ferguson Field in Deadwood. Number 3 Sioux Falls Lincoln is at Aberdeen Central. Sioux Falls Roosevelt visits Sioux Falls Washington. Number 4 Sioux Falls Jefferson is on the road tonight at Rapid City Central. You can catch that game over on our sister station, KOTA, over in Rapid City. Steve Emmerman will have the call of that one. A Black Hills Conference matchup tonight has Custer at Rapid City Christian. Lyman visits number 2 Wall. Number 3 Watertown is at Sturgis. That game over at Woodle Field in Sturgis, kicking off at 6 o'clock Mountain Time tonight. Faith is at Lemon McIntosh. It'll be a top 5 matchup in Class 11AA as top-ranked Yankton goes to number 5 seed T area. That could be an interesting matchup in T, and especially when it comes to the power points and the seeding with just a couple weeks left of the regular season. Number 2 Spearfish is on the road at Pierre tonight. That matchup right here on KDSJ. Spearfish number 2 in the media poll, number 3 in the seeding points, as they actually lost a few points by beating up on Douglas last week. But we'll see if Spearfish can go on the road and get a key victory tonight against the Pierre Governors as we have kickoff just a few minutes away. Other matchups including Kadoke area and Jones County. It'll be number 5 Sioux Falls O'Gorman hosting Rapid City Stevens. New Underwood is at Phillip tonight. Mitchell is at Huron. And also a top 5 matchup in Class 11 AAA as number 1 Harrisburg visits number 2 Brandon Valley. That game in Brandon tonight, a little bit later start as they start at 8 o'clock Central Time there. And that is a look at your matchup menu being brought to you by the South Dakota Beef Industry Council this evening. And right here on KDSJ Sports, we're bringing you the Pierre Governors hosting the Spearfish Spartans. I'm Cody Oliver, Clayson Davis along with us, and tell us quickly a little bit more about what we have over there on KDSJ-TV tonight.
Yeah, KDSJ-TV here live in Pierre as the capital, here in the capital city of South Dakota. The Capitol building's all lit up, as you can see right here on KDSJ-TV as we're going through the starting lineups for both teams here. Beautiful night here. We're inside, so we could stay warmer than everyone else outside. It's going to get pretty chilly here once the sun officially hides behind the horizon. But no, great night for football, and two teams they have a lot on the line here tonight.
And again, our matchup menu being brought to you by Beef Logic. That brings us into the introduction of our game officials, as we'll have them meeting at
midfield here soon for the coin toss. And tonight's game officials and the law in the field is being brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection. So they'll be meeting at midfield here in the 50-yard line to have the coin toss and decide who's going to get the ball first, who will get it to begin the second half, and which way we'll be going. Right now, I believe the wind is blowing pretty well left to right across Hollister Field here in Pierre. So that's going to be a factor tonight, is the wind. Right now it's blowing from the parking lot all the way across the field. So left to right is the way it's blowing, or west to east here in the capital city. These two teams met last year in the first round of the playoffs. Pierre was the number 1 seed there. Spearfish was the number 8 seed. Spearfish did score 26 points in that contest, but they gave up 49 as the Pierre Governors won the game and moved on as they capped things off with another championship last November down at the Dakota Dome. As we come into this contest, the Spearfish Spartans, they started the season off with 3 straight wins, then losing on the road late in that game at Aberdeen Central 14-6. Then they won 3 more games in a row, including a double overtime win at the number 1 team, Watertown. That was back on October 4th. Last week, they took care of business on October 11th at home, shutting out the Douglas Patriots 58-0. So they moved to 6-1 in the season, and this is game number 8 as they go on the road and meet in the middle of the state against the Pierre Governors. For the Pierre Governors, they won their first 2 games of the season, then had a 4-game losing streak, as we heard from John Winkler over at KCCR Radio, talking a little bit about how they battled through some injuries and those losses in there. But they got back to their winning ways last week, played some good football in the second half, and got out of Sturgis with a win 17-14 to go 3-4 on the season. Coming into this contest, Clayson Davis had a chance to catch up with Mr. Steele, the head coach of the Pierre Governors. So what'd you kind of hear from him?
Yeah, I was able to sit down with Coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governors. It's been pretty much a season of injuries for them, as the injury bug bit them hard and bit them really often. Said down starting offensive lineman, 2 linebackers. I believe they have 1 back, but he'll only play offense. It's their tight end, Cooper Terwillinger. Have a fun time saying that one multiple times.
I'm going to let you do that tonight.
That's fair enough. It's been a year of finding a way to win, pretty much. Has a lot of really just issues with injuries and that, and having had kids to step up. It's been a really challenging year. They could easily be 4-0 in those games that they've lost. They've moved. This really the first time that they closed out a game was against Sturgis last week. So let's see if they are able to close out another one against another West River teams. They're just seeing what their depth is with all these injuries, so we'll see what they have here tonight. And his keys versus Spearfish, as we go through the keys kind of over for both teams. For Pierre, you got to limit big plays versus Spearfish. You got to control the run game early, keep Spearfish offenses off the field, and also get a lead first. And the Spearfish, on the other end, control the line of scrimmage, 0-0 mentality like we've heard the entire year from Coach Tom Teason. Know where Cooper Terwillinger is the entire game, because they will go to him early and often and the entire night.
And for the injuries, the Pierre Governors are out still with Hudson Schaefer, the junior quarterback, defensive back. He had a torn ACL. Also out tonight for the Pierre Governors will be Tucker Ott. He has a broken fibula. For the Spearfish Spartans on the injury notes, out with the concussion still tonight is Jack Coette, their backup quarterback, and also Aiden Kront, tight end and linebacker. He's out tonight with a knee injury. So those are the 2 injuries for both teams as we get a little bit closer to kickoff tonight between the Spearfish Spartans and the Pierre Governors right here on KDSJ as they have the kickoff here, and it looks like the Pierre Governors would like to receive first, and kickoff is underway here at 7:04 p.m. Central Time, a little after 6 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone, and Pierre Governors will have a touchback, and they'll take it offensively here to begin this contest as they will have the first down there at their own 20-yard line. We look at their offense. Quarterback is Caleb Lounsbury, the junior. Wide receiver is senior George Stalley. Wide receiver is Carter Shufflebine. He's a sophomore. Also as a wideout will be Lincoln Dilges, a junior. Cooper is going to be the tight end, 6'5", 225-pounder. Also a tailback is Carter Morrell. We heard about him in the pregame show. He's wearing number 24 and as a junior. as the Pierre Governors will start the ball game off, and they'll try to hand it off, but the Spearfish Spartans are right there to meet him, and that's going to be a loss on the play as the Pierre Governors started the football 1st and 10 from their own 20, going right to left here in the first quarter, and tackled for loss there, maybe about 2 yards to bring up 2nd down. Let's get to the linemen for the Pierre Governors. Offensive guard will be Baxter Shrimp. Let's see, another guard is Jacob Mikkinen. The center is Zayden Rounds. Bogenhagen is the nose guard, and also it'll be, Carter Templeton will be your punter if they need that in the special teams tonight. That's your starting lineup for head coach Steve Steele and the Pierre Governors. Pierre Governors keep it on the ground for the 2nd time in a row as they run that one, as it was 2nd down and about 12 to go. They'll pick up about 5 yards in this play.
Yeah, Spearfish Pierre trying to establish the ground game early. Definitely want to try to get the ground game rolling against this tough Spearfish defense, getting them worn down early, especially with the defensive end Aiden Kraut out for the game.
3rd down coming up here for the Pierre offense, and we have a whistle. I don't see a flag on the field, but
I think it was a flag on the far side. I believe they will get the defensive end Medina for Spearfish jumping, so that will make it now 3rd and very short.
Good eyes over there across the field as we hear from Clayson Davis with KDSJ-TV. I got to credit him because he has a camera that he can zoom in on over there on the opposite side of the field. On the Spearfish defense, defensive tackle, as we get them lined up with 4 down linemen as they go with the 4-3 set. Pierre hands it off. It'll be a 1st down past the 35 up to around the 40-yard line. He goes out of bounds over by the Spearfish Spartans sideline. That'll be a 1st down. So after the Spartans had the penalty, they keep it on the ground for the 3rd straight time. They're going against the wind. That's probably why they're trying to ground game here, and they pick up the 1st down there.
Yeah, just a simple wildcat formation there for Pierre. Number 1, that is Elijah Bucci. He's a tight end, 6'3", 220 pounds. Get him in a short yardage situation, running downhill. It's a lot what we saw from T. Arias quarterback way back in week 1.
Now it's 1st and 10 for the Pierre Governors as they go right to left. This is their first drive of the game. 1:25 gone by. They're at their own 36-yard line. They hand it off, but Spearfish is right there with a tackle for the Spartans with the maroon helmets, the white jerseys, and the maroon pants. Nice tackle there for Spearfish. And number 6 for the Spartans getting the tackle, that is Hunter Walters.
Yeah, Hunter Walters might have saved a 1st down, if not a touchdown, as that time Merrill had a wide open hole, had a chance to really break it. That time the linebacker, playing middle linebacker now is Hunter Walters in the game, and now they'll get Spearfish again with another offside. So Spearfish, that was the story with them earlier this year was penalties. They had a hard time dealing with penalties. A very undisciplined play and giving away free yards, and so far in this one, Spearfish, they're having a hard time staying on sides.
Very challenging year for the Pierre Governors with that 4-game losing streak, going through some injuries. They did honor 15 seniors before games, so they do have the depth. Plenty of green here as they look to go long. This pass is incomplete, out of the hands of intended receiver Carter Scheffelbein, the sophomore wideout, 5'10", 155 pounds. Just couldn't haul that one in. It's an incomplete pass as they look to go long on 1st down.
Yeah, that was Carson Sire on the defense there. The other cornerback, aside from Dylan Dorn, who they have back tonight, as Coach Steele called Dorn one of the best corners he has seen in this state for a long time. Number 4 there on the wide side of the field for Spearfish. So Carson Sire, he'll probably have himself a really busy day in the passing game, being opposite of number 4 in maroon.
And let's mention a few other guys on the defense for the Spearfish Spartans as they face a 3rd down here. 4 down linemen. As they pitch it for the Pierre Governors, they get through for the 1st down across midfield into Spartan territory, down inside the 40 to the 35 to about the 33-yard line. Nice carry there by Carter Merrill as the Spartans move the chains.
Yeah, that time Carter Merrill, it was a toss play over to the wide side of the field, but he was able to find a hole, cut it up. Spearfish defense over-pursued early, and that left a wide open running lane for Merrill, and now the Pierre Governors, as Coach Steele said in our interview earlier this week, they've been able to run the ball and usually just move the ball really effectively on the offensive side. It's just this trouble has been finishing drives offensively.
Live tonight on KDSJ Sports, it is a football Friday night, live from Hollister Field here in the capital city of Pierre, South Dakota. And the Pierre Governors will hand it off here on first down. They'll get it over here to the near side and tackled there by Spartan at the 30-yard line. And that time with the tackle is number 6 for the Spartans, Mr. Hunter Walters.
Yeah, Hunter Walters, he's already had himself a busy day, being one of the outside linebackers again with Aiden Kraut out of the game. So he'll have a busy day defensively and offensively carrying the ball.
Kraut's been on the injury report for the last couple weeks and out of this game. Overall, though, the Spartans are healthy coming into this, having, I would call, a mini bye week last week, and that 58-0 win over the Douglas Patriots. And the Spearfish Spartans get a tackle after the catch. That will be the Spearfish Spartans' Dylan Doran making the tackle after, I believe, sitting out last week. He's able to come back in and make the tackle. I saw some highlights of the Spearfish Spartans against the Mitchell Colonels. Who is that number 19 that came across the field and set a block?
That was Jack Coette, our backup quarterback. Well, one of our other quarterbacks and also starting linebacker. He's been out with a concussion, and if you hit like that, you wonder why. But, no, he had a great block there on an interception there against Mitchell.
That was earlier this season in like game number 2 or 3. As we get back to action here in game number 8, they play a 9-game season here in Class 11 AA. Spearfish coming off of that home win over Douglas last week. Now going on the road, facing off against the Pierre Governors. The Governors have already used over 4 minutes on the clock here in the first quarter on their first drive. Under 8 minutes left to play here in the first. From the shotgun formation, second down, and we have some movement here at the line of scrimmage. And this might be on the Spearfish Spartans again. It was a second down and short to go. This will be a penalty on Spearfish, already their 3rd penalty on this drive defensively, as Pierre is starting to just drive the ball down the field.
Yeah, that time Spearfish, they've had a hard time staying on sides. They're almost too amped up for this one as they're trying to, again, that aggressive defense by Spearfish, trying to blitz early and often. It's hard to blitz when your D-line's jumping into the neutral gap the entire time, as now it is 1st and goal. It's going to be Wildcat formation for Abuchi. That time he is going to get stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Flag does come out on the play. Tackled there by a host of Spartans, I believe, led by Matthew Medina, the defensive end. Marcus Medina, that is, excuse me. As we have a penalty against the Pierre Governors. So that will back them up there in the goal line. Again, the story for the Pierre Governors offensively, they've been able to move the ball down the field. It's just finishing drives in the red zone. So penalties going back and forth between both the teams, and now we get to see what the Pierre Governors can do, backed up with a 1st and goal from the 20.
Spearfish had no problem scoring anywhere on the field last week, but that game against Watertown, 2 times we were down at the 1-yard line, could not finish. So I know Coach Teason is expressing, get it done in the red zone on the Spartan side, and let's get it done defensively. And that time the Spartans with a nice tackle as a couple of guys come in. I see number 4 was in there for the Spearfish Spartans. That was Dylan Doran. And Spartans wrap them up. Nice tackle there.
Yeah, Dylan Doran also on the defensive end. Marcus Medina there again. He is needing to play a big role in this game as, again, losing Aiden Kraut earlier this year. Marcus Medina is kind of your other outside linebacker / defensive end. He's playing inside as more of a 3-tech against this Pierre Governor offense. If you know Pierre Governor football, you know this is a normal occurrence, but an offset offensive line as well, as now we'll have a wide set for the Pierre offense.
5.5 minutes used here on this drive by the Pierre Governors. They try to cap off the drive with a touchdown pass, and it looks like he caught it in the corner of the end zone.
Touchdown! Just a corner route that time by the Spear offense. That is a George Stolley, the senior senior wide receiver there on a corner route. He beat the freshman for Spearfish, number 25. I need to get to that roster out. But he beats on the coverage Grantham Hughes, the sophomore defensive back, having a lot of defensive back play for Spearfish, and beat him on the corner route. And that is a touchdown for the Pierre Governors, and they strike first.
So Stolley with a touchdown reception from their quarterback, Caleb Lounsbury. And now the Pierre Governors will wait to have some conversation from the official over with the Spearfish sideline as the
Pierre Governors able to get the first score on the game. It looks like 6-0, 6:23 left. And the official with the call on the field.
I believe it will be unsportsmanlike conduct against the Pierre Governors, I do believe.
So they will count the touchdown. It is 6-0. Now we'll pin the extra point, which will be a kick by Carter Templeton, the freshman, who had the only points in the first half last week at the Sturgis Scoopers. And the point after is up. It is low, but it gets through to make it 7-0. So a drive that took 5 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock. They started at their 20-yard line, and they ended in the end zone as the Pierre Governors strike first on their first drive of the game to go up 7-0. We'll be back with more right here on KDSJ Sports for Football Friday.
It's not one, but two great locations in Spearfish to gas up and get what you need on the go. Exit 8 and Exit 14 Speedy Marts offer everything you need so you can get in and get out and get back on the road. Find your favorite snacks and a cold drink, or maybe something fresh from the kitchen or in the cold case. It's all homemade right here. And Exit 8 and Exit 14 offers top-tier fuels from Phillips 66, so you get the most from your transportation. Exit 8 and 14 Speedy Marts in Spearfish. Right off the road, right on the money.
Do-it-yourself made easy with help from Proline Equipment Rentals in Belle Fourche. Whether you're a full-fledged contractor or just taking care of some jobs around your home, Proline has the equipment you need. Lifts for any job, like scissor lifts, boom lifts, and man lifts, skid steers, trenchers, backhoes, and more. Step inside to find smaller tools for do-it-yourself projects like concrete work, painting, sewer repair, and more. Call 723-7677, click ProlineEquipmentRentals.com, or stop by off North Highway 85 in Belle Fourche today.
For over 20 years, there's been a better alternative for car repair in Spearfish and the Northern Black Hills. It's Auto Doctor with their two.
First drive for the Pierre Governors offensively is successful as they get a touchdown catch from Caleb Lounsbury, the quarterback, over to George Stolley, the senior wide receiver. Now Spearfish on the return, and Spearfish gets it up to past midfield into Governor territory as Dylan Doran on the return. And let's go over to Clayson Davis, KDSJ-TV, and we'll keep it right here. This is what we call football audible on radio and TV, as Spearfish will bring their offense onto the field, and the Spartans will have a holding penalty here on the return. So we'll see where they spot the football. That is already the fourth penalty on the Spearfish Spartans. Meanwhile, one penalty on the Pierre Governors. We played almost 6 minutes here in the first quarter. Pierre using some clock and having a 7-0 lead. Now Spearfish will have their chance of their first drive. They'll spot the football at their own 43. So the return did get across midfield, but after the holding, it'll be brought back. So Thomas Hughes, the sophomore quarterback, brings his Spartans out onto the field with the maroon helmets, white jerseys, maroon numbers, and the maroon pants. Spearfish usually runs, but they'll throw it down the field this time. They have a man, and he just overthrows him for the Spearfish Spartans. Unable to make the catch there, as Hughes unable to come up with it. And now the Spearfish Spartans will have second down and 10 to go. Nice try there, as they usually most of the time run the football with Hunter Walters in the running back core, but that time opening up the offense and going with another quarterback that one time with Hughes and trying to get out there in some open space. Now they send a guy in motion. That's Evan Wilson. And they'll hand it off to Wilson. Wilson goes to the far side of the football field and get tackled there at about the 45. That will be a gain of about 2 yards for the Spearfish Spartans. The Pierre Governors, probably the best defense that Spearfish will face so far this year. That'll be the matchup of the night, is how the Spartans, usually one-dimensional with the running game, how do they do against the stout Pierre defense that held Sturgis to just 14 points last week?
And we'll see if Spearfish can break through with maybe some trickery plays tonight. Here's another handoff for the Spartans. That goes to Hunter Wilson, and he gets it right to midfield to about the 50-yard line. He's down there. That'll bring up about a 3rd and 3 for the Spartans as they go left to right in this first quarter. It'll be 4th down now for the Spearfish. And they will go for it. So the Spearfish Spartans going left to right here in this first quarter, going with the wind in this first quarter. 4th down, they're going to go for it. 4th and about 3 yards to go. They're trying to get Pierre off sides. They look over to the Spearfish sideline, and they may decide to call a timeout here, or will they go through with this play? With the play clock winding down, Spearfish in no hurry to snap this football. As Thomas Hughes looks over at the sideline. Not sure if there's confusion or not, but now he's going to take the snap from about 5 yards out, and we will have penalties all over the place. And it looks like a false start on Spearfish, their 5th penalty of the game. So the penalty bug biting the Spartans here when they were on defense and on offense. Confusion there for the Spartans. They just stood there and looked over at the Spartan bench trying to get some answers by the hand signals, but nothing was coming through and clear for the Spartans on the offensive line. They moved. Everybody looked like they moved. And it's now 4th down and back to about 8 yards to go. So a loss of 5 yards with the penalty. And now Spearfish will punt. Here is the punter for the Spartans, and he'll get a nice punt away and going with the wind, and this will be down and fair caught at about the 5-yard line for the Pierre Governors as the punter for the Spearfish Spartans gets a nice one off there for Spearfish, and they'll pin Pierre back at about the 5. A fast-moving first quarter with 4:18 left to play here in the opening frame. The Spearfish Spartans now go back on defense. They saw Pierre run the football down the field 80 yards this past drive. We'll see if they can get some stops here because Pierre made it look easy thanks to a few penalties on Spearfish last time. So Pierre 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line, and they will look to pass it as they scramble out. They throw it down the field, and this will be out of bounds, incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from their own 5.
Yeah, sorry, I had some troubles with over here with KDSJ-TV. But no, a little rollout pass trying to get the Spearfish Spartan off a defense. Over aggressive to try to stop the run because, like you said, Cody, they ran the ball very effectively there on that first drive. And trying to get the ball moving again through the air, try to get them out of the back of their own end zone. But now 2nd and 10, I could probably just see them just go to the run game here.
And back is Spearfish going with the 4-down lineman. And seen a man in motion here for the Pierre Governors. Spearfish, their secondary has been good this year. We'll see if they get active, but getting a good play here by Spearfish, making the tackle number 22, Lathan Lucas. He led the team in tackles throughout last season, and he comes up with a tackle there. So it is, let's see, under 4 minutes left to go now here in the first frame as the Spartans trail 7-0. The Pierre Governors on their first drive of the game, getting a touchdown pass from Lounsbury to Stolle for the touchdown, then the point after was good.
And now 3rd and long, they're going to go empty now here on offense. So look to get a quick pass and get out of the back of their own end zone.
And a pass down the field. It is caught. And up to about midfield and into Spartan territory. A nice play and catch right over his shoulder was Lincoln Dilges, the wide receiver, making the catch, and a pass from Caleb Lounsbury. Dilges makes the catch. The junior, 6'2", 160 pounds, wearing number 13 with the green and white jerseys, able to haul that one in, give the Governors a first down as we're set up now at midfield.
Yeah, that's how you get out of the back of your own end zone, run a streak down the middle of the field, had a height advantage over the safety Aiden Meverden, and now Pierre Governors at midfield, they're back in business on offense.
Spearfish, the middle linebacker, is motioning around to make sure everybody is ready in the secondary this time because they just gave up that big play that gained them 45 yards. And now here's the handoff play for Pierre. And they'll get some extra yards after the first initial contact. So from the 45, they get it down to about the 42. Nice move there, gaining about 8 yards for the Pierre Governors on the ground.
Yeah, the running game working for Pierre so far. Their running back, Carter Merrill, he's doing a good job letting the hole develop, being very patient, and then once he finds a crease, he is not very big, and he's able to squeak through those holes. Only 5'11", 175 pounds, but able to find a hole, find a little crevice, and then sneak through for a big yardage.
Thanks to one of our sponsors, Dana Dental Arts, where a beautiful smile is always in style. And there is a catch by the Pierre Governors. It'll be a first down, and then immediately tackled by Spearfish on the far side of the field. That'll move the chains.
Just a nice little rollout pass at that time for the quarterback that time, Losenberry, and it was an easy little out route completion to his wide receiver and a new set of downs for Pierre. Everything was working for Pierre offensively, and it's putting the Spearfish defense on their heels early.
First down here for Pierre as they send a man in motion here to the near side. That is George Stolley, the man that caught the touchdown pass earlier this quarter. Now we're under 2 minutes left to play here in the first. The Governors go back to the ground attack, and not much gained there, as it will be a gain of maybe a yard for the Pierre Governors, bringing up second down.
That was a good job that time by the middle linebacker, one of the two middle linebackers for Spearfish in this 3-4 defense. The leading tackler that time, Lathan Lucas there, read the play. Didn't allow Merrill to get any extra yardage after contact. And now it's going to be 2nd and 10. See if Pierre goes to the air again here.
So Pierre doesn't send anybody in motion now, as the quarterback is Lounsbury, the junior. Looks to his left, looks to his right, snaps his hands, and then throws it over here to the near side. It is caught by Dilgis, and then nothing after that. Spearfish on the attack right there. Good job by the defense. Carson Sire, the sophomore.
Carson Sire's probably pretty much going to be in a pretty busy role all day today, as I don't think Pierre wants to throw too many balls toward Dylan Doran. But I've already picked on the safeties, as here at the beginning of this drive, number 30, Aiden Meverden, gave up a long pass down the sideline, down the middle of the field, and now on 3rd and manageable, set they 3rd and about 5 or 6. We'll see if what Pierre can do offensively to move the chains and get a first down.
3rd down here for Pierre as the quarterback takes the snap and throws it down the field, and it is picked off by the Spearfish Spartans. Number 5, that's Carson Sire. He takes it back to the 40, to the 45-50, into Pierre Governor territory, down to the 35-30, down to the 25-20. He's going to take it almost all the way and gets down to about the 1-yard line, as the official will mark him there. Carson Sire, after making a tackle just a little bit ago, that pass was bobbled by a Pierre Governor receiver, picked off by the Spartans, and Sire was determined to take it all the way, finally tackled at the 1.
Yeah, Carson Sire just taking it the complete, almost the whole distance, about had it a touchdown. But now for the Spartans, this is a momentum-changing play. You need to take advantage of it offensively to get this one in the red zone. As we've talked about Pierre's offensive woes in the red zone, Spearfish, they have been having trouble the entire year scoring from the red zone. So let's see if Spearfish, they're able to get one in, as they're in a full house backfield with Thomas Hughes and Hunter Walters. See if one of these two gets the carry.
And I was just going to say, let's not have a penalty and back us up 5 or 10 yards, but that might just happen. We'll see if the officials can give us a call here, as it was a flag thrown in from the far side of the field.
They will call encroachment that time on the Pierre Governor, so that must have been a Governor defender making a Spearfish Spartan offensive player jump on the snap, so that will just move the ball up closer to the line of scrimmage, half the distance to the goal. You really can't go 5 yards, or else he would be halfway into the end zone. So now it's going to be a 1st and goal from about, I believe, the 2 or 3.
Let's get halfway into the end zone. Why not? 9 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. The Spartans, after the interception by Sire, take the snap. They hand it off. It gets close to the goal line. Looked like the Governors are there to meet him, and stopped at the goal line. He did not get in, as the clock strikes 0 here at the end of the first quarter. So what we'll do, we'll get into the second quarter, and the Spartans will go all
all the way down to the other end of the field and see if they can break through that goal line, as right now it's 7-0 Pierre Governors after quarter number 1. It's a matchup of Class 11 AA teams battling here late in the regular season. The Spartans, well, they'll have third down at about the 1 yard line, and we'll see what happens when we come back in 30 seconds right here on KDSJ Sports.
Certified mechanics who each have over 40 years of experience and their state-of-the-art facility. They'll treat your vehicle like it's theirs. From mechanical repairs, brakes, alignments, tires, AC work, and more, Auto Doctor also provides advanced diagnostics. From Audis to Volkswagens, if your car is ill, we're the pill. Auto Doctor off Exit 14 Heritage Drive, Spearfish.
The Goldust Casino.
I'm Cody Oliver, but thank you to Clayson Davis with help here on a Football Friday night over on KDSJ-TV. Here we go, Spearfish with a third down and goal. We'll see if they can finish in the red zone and get some points off that interception. Here is the quarterback, Thomas Hughes, going to have to run out of trouble. He has a couple of Governors coming after him and brings him down in the backfield, so the Spartans will now be set up with a third down. And they lose some yards there after getting sacked.
Yeah, that time, I don't know if that was a busted play or if that was a designated carry. Or Thomas Hughes, he didn't really feel any sort of ambition of running up the middle that time, as he just bounced to the outside right off the snap. There was about 3 Governor defenders waiting for him and all had the angle on him. And Spearfish, if you want to solve your red zone woes, that is not the way to do it. Negative plays, they have killed the Spartans so far in the red zone this season.
And Friday Night Football being brought to you tonight by Granite Automotive, Fisher Sand and Gravel, and by Pillin Optical. It's third down now for the Spearfish Spartans, and the football is set up here just outside the 9 yard line. We're going to have a penalty, and
no, we'll have a timeout on the Governors.
So a TO taken here by Coach Steve Steele and the Pierre Governors, as they will try to get the right personnel on the field early on here in the second quarter, as the Spearfish Spartans are again knocking on the door inside the 10 yard line. But they've had a couple of tries here, unable to get it into the end zone. Then Hughes takes a sack, and now after the timeout for Pierre, we'll see how the offensive strategy is against this good Pierre defense. Again, the Spartans trying to break through.
Yeah, for Spearfish, you need to be able to score in the red zone, especially with Pierre. They're going to really limit the offensive possessions for Spearfish to try to not allow some big plays. And so Spearfish, you definitely want to get in the end zone here on this drive. But Pierre, their defense, they've been stout the entire year. They've had a lot of fresh faces, but one thing about the Governors, they've always been tough defensively, especially where it counts. So now third and goal. I want to be at about the 15, so third and 15. I don't be surprised if Spearfish, they just try to get half of them here and then go for it on fourth down, as I have a full house set for Thomas Hughes, the quarterback.
Third down here for Spearfish, looking to throw. It's Hughes, goes to the end zone. It's a 50-50 ball, and it is incomplete. Good coverage there in the end zone by the Pierre Governors. And now after Spearfish had that interception, they returned it down to the 1 yard line. It's now going to be fourth and goal, and we'll see what they decide to do, as the ball is just outside the 10 yard line. They've lost yards on a penalty. They lost yards on a sack. They get nothing here on the incomplete pass. Again, this Pierre Governor defense, the toughest one they've seen all year so far, and the Governors are stepping up. It's a fourth down. They're going to go for the kick. This will be by Sam Marcus, the kicker, and it is line drive and no good, as it did not get through, and the Spearfish Spartans miss a 26-yard field goal. So after getting the interception by Sire, he ran it all the way down the field, down to the 1 yard line, and the Spartans come up empty.
Yeah, it's like we've seen this story before back in Watertown. 2 different times in Watertown, they get to the 1 yard line, come away with 0 points. And against Pierre, same story, get down to right there inside the 5-yard line, and you come away with 0 points. Again, negative plays that have backed up the Spartans multiple times. I don't know if it's either by interception or if it's just by tackle for loss, or even that time it looked like on that negative play, it looked like just a miscommunication and a broken play from the start, but you can't have that, especially against the Pierre Governors.
And this late in the season, already game number 8 of 9 in the regular season, and getting called already for, let's see, we add them up and probably going to run out of room by the end of the night. 6 penalties on Spearfish, 1 on Pierre, and a second down coming up here for the Pierre Governors after a gain of about 3 as they start to drive deep in their own territory, but we've seen them before. Started at the 5-yard line, get it out of there, and then well, the last time they threw an interception, so we'll see what happens here. Second down, they're going with the wind, so maybe the passing game comes in here. And here's the throw. It is caught at the 33 and then is down there. Nothing after the catch. Cooper with the catch, and then with the tackle for the Spearfish Spartans as he is walking back sideways, so I don't know who that is until he turns.
First and 10 for the Governors.
Number 11 for the Spartans, and that would be none other than Cade Vavruska, the sophomore making the tackle. So a new set of downs for the Spearfish Spartans, and it's now 1st and 10, or a new set of downs for Pierre against the Spartans, 1st and 10 at about their own 32. They'll hand it off this time. The Governors will come to the near side, break 1 tackle, cuts back, breaks a couple more tackles, almost gets to midfield here on the near side and goes out of bounds. Another hard run by the Pierre Governors, getting through that Spearfish initial tackle, getting through that first line and getting it to midfield, and a new set of downs.
Yeah, the offensive line for Pierre, they're just manhandling Spearfish up front. As Hunter Walters had a chance at it, but the offensive lineman right there to really there for the pancake block, and now Pierre, they're really starting to lay it on in the run game as he has some more room up the middle there.
That time it is met with authority by number 22, Lathan Lucas. The junior linebacker makes the tackle for Spearfish, and then Pierre gains about 4 yards on the play. They get into Spartan territory now. It's going to be 2nd down and around 6 to go. Pierre Governors at the Spearfish Spartans 46-yard line. It's the second quarter. Governors lead it 7-0. They got out of that last drive and defensively with a big stand, stopping the Spartans at the 1-yard line, and the Spartans missing a 26-yard field goal after a sack and a penalty. 8:50 left to play here, second quarter. Spearfish trying to come with the blitz. The Pierre Governors come to the other side here, and they go out of bounds, and that might not be any gain, as the Governors wear the green helmets, green jerseys, white numbers. We can see them very well, and even wearing some pink undershirts here for the month of October. So 3rd down, I'm going to say unofficially about 3 yards to go. I'm Cody Oliver with KDSJ Radio. Clayson Davis over at KDSJ-TV as we bring you the manpower here in the capital city on this football Friday night. It's going to be 4 receiver set for Pierre. And the quarterback, Lounsbury, will keep it. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to around the 28-yard line. No flags on the field, and another 1st down for Pierre. They're putting together another good drive.
Yeah, that time Pierre, there was a Wildcat quarterback in there, Elijah Bucci there. Just taking the snap, that right side caved in on the Spearfish defense, and Abuchi didn't really get touched until he was about 3 yards past the 1st down.
Pierre's drives so far tonight, this is just their 3rd one. On their first drive, they capped it off with a touchdown catch. That put them up 7-0. Their second drive, they threw an interception. This is their 3rd drive of the game. And they hand it off, and taking a Spearfish Spartan would-be tackler down with him inside the 20-yard line to about the 19. Nice carry there for the Pierre Governors. Number 24, tailback Carter Morrell with the carry, and Merrill gets it for a 2nd and about 2 to go.
Yeah, just that right side. It's been proven to be successful for the Pierre Governors so far. That's that numb side of the formation for Pierre. There's only 1 guard on that side, but it's been working so far for Pierre on offense.
One of the things Coach Steele said for the Pierre Governors, they've had their same starting lineup on offense for a couple weeks in a row. That's been the first time in a while now with all those injuries, as they try to drive the length of the field here after they took over at about the 9-yard line. and have moved the ball down the field. Now they're in the red zone. And they wanted to get a lead early. That was one of the keys for Coach Steele tonight. They did get that lead early. They took 5 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock in their first drive, able to go up 7-0 in the first quarter. And that's where we still stand. 6:34 left to play, second quarter, 7-0 Govs. Here's the Pierre Governors looking to throw. They'll take the short route here to the near side. And the pass is caught by number 12, Cooper. And it is the Spearfish Spartan, number 11, Kate Vervruska, in on the tackle.
Yeah, that time Cooper Terwillinger there on the catch. They're starting to go to him now more often as against Sturgis. He was the primary and really the only target from the sound of it. And now this time Cooper Terwillinger, the tight end, 6'3", 225 pounds, big kid over there, tight end. They're going to be thrown to him a lot of the time. 6'5", that is, 225 pounds. So a big kid, they're going to be thrown to him early and often, especially right here in the red zone.
He came in the second half against the Sturgis Scoopers last week after being injured this season. And he is just a great athlete and a good target to go to. Now the Pierre Governors go back to the ground. Under 6 minutes left to go here before halftime. The Pierre Governors up 7-0, and the ball will be positioned inside the 10. So I believe it's going to be third and very short. Let's see, maybe a new set of downs.
I call it a new set of downs. From the looks of it, I thought it was first and goal.
So it is first and goal for Pierre. They'll hand it off. They'll go over here to the near side. They get to the outside, and they score. It is for the Pierre Governors. Getting the touchdown was Elijah Bucci, but we do have a holding penalty on the Pierre Governors. So we'll take those points off the board, and it'll come back.
Yeah, that time they're just going off of that nub side of the field for Pierre, the Governors. What I mean by nub side is the Pierre Governors, they have an offset offensive line. As the center, they really play guards. They have 3 offensive linemen to one side of the center, just 1 guard to the right. As a lot of teams don't do that, it really shortens up one edge of the offensive line. But then when you look at that from an X's and O's scheme, there's a blocking advantage on the heavier side of the line. That means there's a lot of open space on the weak side, and Pierre Governors, they are running roughshod on that weak side of the line.
Pierre Governors coming off of a 17-14 win over Sturgis in Scooptown last week, and now they're back at home for senior night tonight. They have 15 seniors. Again, they will keep it on the ground for the Pierre Governors. That was Bucci with the carry. So Sire with the tackle brings up now second and goal for the Govs. Pierre right now in about number 8th spot in the state in Class 11 AA power points. Spearfish in the number 3 spot. Spearfish 6-1 and Pierre 3-4. And looks like some movement again on the Spearfish Spartan defensive side. And number 65 knew it for Spearfish as he comes back and shakes his head late in the loop. And a penalty on the Spartans. That is number 7 here in the first half. 2 penalties on the Pierre Governors. And penalties in the red zone will be hurtful. 4:32 left to play here in the first half. We have some more whistles that we hear out there. Looks like somebody's calling a timeout, and it will be called, I believe, by Coach Teason and the Spearfish Spartans. So both teams will head to their respective sidelines with 4:31 left to play before halftime. Still 7-0 Pierre Governors as they scored on their first drive of the game, and we've stayed that way since. We'll be back with more Football Friday night on KDSJ Sports.
Magic Inc. is proud to sponsor South Dakota's high school and collegiate athletes this season as they work alongside their partners at the South Dakota Beef Industry Council to deliver the Build Your Base Sports Nutrition Program at local high schools and colleges around the state and the country. Are you looking for a simple, easy-to-follow program that can help you and your family optimize performance both on and off the field of play? Check out buildyourbase.org and learn why beef continues to be the premier protein for athletic performance and recovery.
I'm Cody Oliver. Clayson Davis with us here on KDSJ Radio and KDSJ-TV. And Pierre will have it second and goal with the ball at about the 5-yard line. As the Pierre Governors get Spearfish offsides again. You hear the clapping in the background. That's from a Pierre governor. And this will be offsides. And this will be half the distance to the goal. So you just come out of a timeout, and you get another penalty on Spearfish. Spearfish penalty number 8, unofficially. 7-0, Pierre with the lead, trying to strike again. They're going to go with their quarterback, and he'll keep it and get the possibly a touchdown. Yes, it is. It took him a little bit to verify that his knee wasn't down before the goal line. So that's a touchdown by the Pierre Governors, and again, they did it on the ground. They mixed it up offensively. They took advantage of a few Spartan penalties, and there you go.
Yeah, that time, Pierre just on that entire drive bullied their way down the field. It almost looked like that fourth quarter versus Watertown, and Watertown was able to find a success on the ground versus Spearfish defense. And, of course, penalties there in the red zone as Pierre was backed up in the red zone due to a penalty themselves. Then Spearfish recorded 2 penalties themselves. Pierre only had 1. That's 10 yards to 5, and that was in favor of the Pierre Governors. And now with that PAT good, it is a 14-0 ball game. Spearfish, if you want to get back in this one, you have to refocus because I do believe a lack of focus, especially on those penalties, so far has been a turning point in the game.
Pierre Governors 14, Spearfish Spartans 0. 4:27 left to go before halftime. And we'll have the special teams unit now coming on for Spearfish as they will hopefully get a chance to, let's get a good kick return here and see if they can set up a drive before halftime. Let's see, that was a 2-yard touchdown run unofficially, and the point after was good. The Governors take a 14-0 lead here in the second frame. As we say thanks to more of our sponsors this evening, including Powder River Energy. Also thanks to Proline Equipment Rental. I'm Cody Oliver here on KDSJ 980 AM, 103.5 FM in the Northern Black Hills, KDSJ980.com. We're streaming live there, as well as with the free KDSJ Sports mobile app. Clayson Davis over at KDSJ-TV. You can watch the game for free through YouTube and Facebook Live tonight as we come to you on the road in Pierre at Hollister Field. Here's the kickoff to the Spartans, and they will catch it at about the 6, and there's more laundry on the field. And I believe they're going to re-kick this one.
Probably offsides against the kicking team, so they'll back them up 5.
Okay.
We do have a quick score update from the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. I believe this is the first time this has happened all year for the Belfouche Broncs. They're up over the Lakota Tech 23-0. I believe it might be the first time Belfouche has broke 20 points this whole season. Rapid City Christian up 24-0 over Custer, and St. Thomas More up 14-0 over Lee Deadwood.
That game down at Ferguson Field. A little chilly night there in Deadwood, but it is mid-October. It's about time. The Gold Diggers with their last game of the season, trailing there against St. Thomas More. Here in Pierre, Governors will try to kick it off again. After the penalty on the Govs, Spearfish will have the return from the 20 to the 25, up to the 30. A penalty flag comes in from behind as Hunter Walters on the return. And clock stops here at 4:22 left to play in the second quarter. And we'll see if this is on the return team. I'm going to say it is.
We've block in the back, I believe is what they're saying, against Spearfish, so that will back them up. Again, penalties. It's been the story of the entire game so far for Spearfish. You're able to have a great turnover. Your first drive really didn't do much on the ground, but then had a turnover, returned all the way down to like the 5-yard line. You come away with 0 points, again, by lack of focus with a broken play. This late in the season has got to be just frustrating for a Spearfish Spartan coach, or if you're a fan of the maroon, black, and white.
So the penalty will take the Spartans back to around the 16-yard line to start this drive. Spearfish, their drives, the first one was a punt. The second one carried them from the first quarter into the second quarter. They tried a 26-yard field goal. That was no good after starting that drive at the Pierre Governor 1-yard line. They could not get over that goal line, and then they missed the field goal. Here's another play over to Hughes. Hughes uses his speed. That's part of the athleticism of Thomas Hughes, the sophomore. And if he can find some open room, he can get out there in space. That time, the Pierre Governors followed him over to the far sideline and pushed him out of bounds. Gain maybe of about 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're using Carson Sire at quarterback for some of these plays and having Thomas Hughes play other positions, a lot like what we saw earlier in the year with Jack Coette and Thomas Hughes. As Sire in the gun again, and now he'll look to throw.
They throw it up in the air. This one is not as far as they wanted it to be, but it is still caught for Spearfish. And the Spartans get a first down play, and I'm just now in a habit of looking back for a flag. There is no flag, and the Spartans get a good gain there as they connect there for the first down up to around the midfield area.
Yeah, that was Dylan Dorn there on the catch. Nice to see him back in the action there for Spearfish offensively. Dorn is limping a bit. He did have that ankle injury that he sustained against Watertown, so that could be something to keep a note. But that time, Carson Sire normally plays wide receiver. They're now playing quarterback. He was the one who threw that pass over there to Dylan Dorn. 50-50 ball, jumped up, and number 4 in white won the contest.
As we stand here in midfield in the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth, great view of this play, and I guess a great view of another flag thrown in here from the near sideline, as in the shotgun formation there was Thomas Hughes.
And that'll be a false start against Spearfish. Again, 2 steps forward, and then you fall back down the staircase with all these penalties. So now it's going to be 1st and 15. Just simple penalties. It's not like that it's effort plays like a holding or a block in the back or anything like that. They're just mental mistakes, jumping off sides, false starts, stuff that you can easily fix. But again, they're hurting the Spartans offensively.
We got a bunched up formation here on the near side, and this will be a handoff over here, but the Pierre Governors saw that coming, and nothing going there for the Spartans. I believe a new carrier in that time. That was Eisenbarth, the senior tight end for the Spearfish Spartans, taking the handoff, but on this bunched up formation on the near side, the Pierre Governors said, "You're no going anywhere."
That's one thing about the Pierre Governor defense. No matter who's in with all these injuries, they're always going to play a disciplined football. As their right time, Spearfish tried catching them off guard with a reverse there to the senior tight end. They ran that play against Douglas with great success. The Pierre Governor saw that one on film. It's like, no, we're not having any of that.
Middle linebacker Max Hunsley, also another linebacker Trevor Rounds. Rounds coming in because of injury, getting the start tonight. Also be on the lookout for Elijah Bucci, the senior. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. He's playing an outside linebacker, and they're playing all together as a team there for the Pierre Governors in that linebacking core. We have a timeout on the field, this time taken by the Pierre Governors with, Spearfish Spartans with the timeout. Okay, 2:26 left to play. And let's see. Spartans down 14-0. I know you want to try to get the job done and get a touchdown for the Spearfish Spartans. Try to go into halftime with something going here offensively. But it's a 2nd and 15, and you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, if you're Spearfish, you definitely want to get at least some sort of points. You will get the ball to start the second half. Here in these moments, we call them the swing H with football. First 4 minutes of the second half, last 4 minutes of the second half, first 4 minutes of the third half, as we got a screenplay over there to Hunter Walters, and I believe an offensive lineman tackled a Pierre Governor, which will be yet another flag for Spearfish. They're going in the wrong way.
Again, the swing 8. The last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, as the Spartans get called for a holding there. And that is penalty number 10 of the first half for Spearfish. And that'll back them up to about the 40 to back to the 37.
About 2nd and 25 now. So Spearfish, again, penalties. Story of the game. Be able to have a positive play, but aside from that, all the rest of your positive plays have just been shut down due to penalties. Let's see if they have anything now. Roll out for Thomas Hughes. He's going to go down the field for Vavruska, and I believe that is knocked away. Good time, good coverage that time. by the Pierre Governors. That is a number 4, George Stolley. He's had himself a great game so far on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And now it is about 3rd and a mile.
Spearfish comes in 6-1 on the season, just mere seeding, 100 points of a seeding on a 1st and 2nd. They're 3-1 on the road this year, 4-1 against teams without a winning record. They're averaging about 30 points per game. They have nothing so far here in the first half. The Pierre Governors at 3-4 in the season, starting to get healthy, and they average about 17 points per game. They have 14 right now. In a 14-0 ball game, Spearfish trying to find some room behind a blocker, and the blocker was in the wrong spot, and Thomas Hughes has to go down right at about the 39-yard line. That'll bring up 4th and a country mile, and the punting team will be coming up here for the Spearfish Spartans. So as the special teams makes their way out, I believe they're going to go back over to the field because I think Pierre called a timeout here to stop the clock with 2:04 left to go before halftime. Both teams will head to their respective sidelines. We got 2 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the first half. It's a 14-0 lead for the Pierre Governors, and it looks like Spearfish will be bringing on the special teams in the punting unit. We'll find out more when we return in 30 seconds on KDSJ Sports.
Invites you to try the new menu items now being offered at Maverick Steak and Cocktails. Watch the action as you dine inside the Gold Dust Casino with tables overlooking the gaming floor. Enjoy over 210 of the newest slot machines and table games in Deadwood. And use your club card for great discounts at the 2 hotels right in the middle of the action. Get reservations today by calling 605-559-1400 or visiting golddustdeadwood.com.
From high school to college football this weekend, join us tomorrow afternoon from Pueblo, Colorado, as Black Hills State will take on another top 25 team in the RMAC, as Black Hills State will be at CSU Pueblo tomorrow, 1 o'clock kickoff time, right here on KDSJ Radio, 980 AM, 103.5 FM, and on the mobile app. Here is the punt by Marcus. Takes a little bounce for the Spartans inside the 20, down to about the 16-yard line. But Pierre has shown that they can go 80 yards down the field. The last drive, they went 91-yard drive. They capped it off with a touchdown. So a touchdown in the first quarter, touchdown in the second quarter. And Pierre has the 14-0 lead. There's been 1 turnover in the game. That was an interception thrown by Pierre. There have been 14 penalties in the first half, 11 of those on the Spartans.
Quick check of the we might not have time. We're going to go.
That might be another penalty on Spearfish. It's an encroachment on the Spartans.
Again, Spearfish, lack of focus. That's been the story. Offside penalties, false starts. It's been that the entire game. So now what was a 1st and 10's 1st and 5.
Pierre Governors going with the wind, left to right. Here in this second quarter, there's a minute 54 left to go. They could certainly march down the field and get into field goal territory, if not a touchdown. As they look to pass, but coming up from behind, and he gets the ball out just in time, and then the pass will be an incomplete as the quarterback trying to find number 7. That was Scheffelbein, and the sophomore could not make the catch, the wide receiver here on the near side. Spearfish Spartan was right behind the quarterback, ready to bring him down, but the quarterback got rid of the ball just in time. Incomplete pass.
And that was Cole Mallow that time on the backside pressure. He about got there, but I might have forced a little bit of incompletion there for Spearfish.
And it'll be a handoff. Keeper across the 23 to around the 25-yard line. On the keeper that time for the Pierre Governors was their quarterback, Caleb Lounsbury. He's a junior. He has a touchdown pass on the first drive of the game to Stolley. Then their second touchdown was a 2-yard rushing touchdown by their quarterback. And this time right up the middle. Spearfish able to stop him there. So brings up now 3rd. We'll see if this is a first down. It will be good enough for a first down, so they'll move the chains on the far side of the field.
1:10 left to go in the second quarter. Here comes the rollout by the Pierre Governor quarterback. Looks down the field, and it's picked off by the Spearfish Spartans. Number 5 making the defensive catch, Carson Sire, his second interception. He had multiple interceptions in the game earlier this year.
Yeah, Carson Sire, he's starting to mold into one of the state's top cornerbacks here in the really Class AA, of course. He's been having all sorts of action thrown his way with Dylan Doran on the other side. It was just a simple rollout pass for Losenberry, and Carson Sire was right there on the stop. There, just steps in front of the pass, gets the interception. And now, Spearfish, you have a positive play. Let's see if you can do something with it on offense.
Sire played kind of like a wide receiver there, getting that foot down in bounds. Spearfish will hand it off, and then a flag comes in from the backfield, and that's usually in the territory of holding. I don't know what the refs have against us tonight.
As I do believe that will be a holding.
It is a holding on Spearfish. That is penalty number 12 if you're keeping track at home.
In the first half, mind you. Again, with rollout passes, it's really hard for the offensive lineman to really get a good block. You almost have to let your defender go, but then again, you're letting your defender go into the quarterback. But still, those holding penalties have been the story of the day so far.
Spearfish going against the wind, and they throw it, and it's batted down, incomplete. As the Pierre Governors also almost had an interception there. That was number 22, the outside linebacker, Lincoln Schoenhard, the junior, just swatted it down and now brings up 2nd and 20.
That was a good job there by the linebacker. It was a low pass for Thomas Hughes. He doesn't have a lot of air on his passes, so they're susceptible to get tipped or even intercepted as Schoenhard had a chance to really go up and get it. Just choose to knock it down, and now it's 2nd and forever with 45 seconds left to go in the half.
Spearfish sets up tight end. Now they go from the shotgun. It is going to be a short pass. It is caught and then brought down at the 35-yard line. The pass was caught by Evan Wilson, but then nothing after the catch. The clock will continue to tick as we come up on 30 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Spartans down 14-0. Pierre Governors didn't now allow anything after that catch as they get the play from the far sideline. The clock is ticking now, under 20 seconds left. They try to get everybody in the right position here. 3 receivers on the far side. And now with 11 seconds left to go in the first half, here's a high snap and goes back. He rolls out, looking to throw to the far sideline, and he throws it down, and it's incomplete. And that'll bring up now 4th down for Spearfish.
Yeah, and of course, yes, it's at the end of the quarter, but really, Spearfish, they haven't been able to play their game. They've maybe had one drive where they're able to establish the run game. And really, ever since that broken play in the red zone, Spearfish, they haven't gone on the ground at all. And if it has, it's been brought back due to penalty. So Spearfish, they've been playing behind the 8 ball this entire drive, really the entire game. And even this drive after the interception, you start off the drive with a penalty. So Spearfish, it's hard to really get in the game when your biggest opponent right now isn't wearing green. It's wearing a white and maroon as its penalties.
The Spearfish Spartans on the road here tonight at Hollister Field in Pierre underneath the lights on a Friday night. And the Spearfish will run a play here as the clock runs out, and then he just drops down and goes down at the 29-yard line. That's not going to help your rushing stats for the Spearfish Spartans, but maybe just putting a Band-Aid on this and saying, let's just get to the locker room, regroup. Down by 2 touchdowns, it seems like it could be 27-0, but instead it's 14-0 at halftime. Pierre Governors with the advantage over the Spearfish Spartans. Your Wolf's Plumbing and Heating halftime show is coming up next, including a first half recap of this one. We'll get to the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard and more when we return in 2 minutes here on KDSJ Sports.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jet Rogers at Peak Family Chiropractic and Sports Performance. We all take different paths in life. That's why we utilize multiple different treatments here at Peak. Our main treatment is our high-level chiropractic adjustment, but we also emphasize the use of cupping, scraping, vibration massage, trigger point therapy, and active care to promote movement, strength, mobility, and most of all, pain relief. Why travel to multiple locations when you can have total wellness under one roof? Stop in today and let's get you to your peak.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Vehicles today are complicated and expensive. The professionals at Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Spearfish are here to guide you through everything automotive. From cars, trucks, and SUVs to parts and repairs, Junix takes the confusion out of automobile ownership. Enjoy the ride with Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Family owned since 1931 on West Jackson in Spearfish.
Whatever the weather, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating keeps you in the comfort zone with expert heating and air conditioning repair or replacement from American Standard Mitsubishi. For over 70 years, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating has delivered quality service to the Northern Hills and Northeast Wyoming. When you need timely, expert service for heating, cooling, or plumbing, call 605-642-5755 or search Wolf's Plumbing and Heating and stay in the comfort zone.
Good Friday evening, everyone, as we take on through this October the 18th. It is the second to final game of the regular season. Playoff positioning on the line tonight in this Class 11 AA matchup between the Spearfish Spartans and the Pierre Governors. Spearfish came in with a record of 6-1 on the season after getting a lot of people rest last week with that 58-0 win over Douglas. They're ranked number 2 in the media poll, ranked number 3 in the state in the seeding points. Going on the road and making the road trip out here to the center of the state and up against the Pierre Governors, 7-time defending state champions. They're 3-4 in the season, and so far Pierre has the lead on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, 14-0. Let's quickly go through the drives here the first half as Pierre started things off. They received the kick. They took 5 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock as they drove down the field, capped it off with a passing touchdown. Stolle with the catch. The point after was good. It was 7-0 Pierre with 6:23 left to go in the first. Then the Spearfish Spartans would have it. They would punt. Pierre would have it. They would throw an interception. Sire with the INT there in the first quarter. Spearfish, Sire ran it all the way down to the 1-yard line, almost got into the end zone, and then Spearfish ends up trying to go for a field goal there later on in the quarter, and they miss it. Let's see. We go to the second quarter action where Spearfish started the quarter down 7-0. They had the football. 26-yard field goal was no good. After being down at the 1-yard line, there was a penalty, there was a sack, and Spearfish was going backwards, and the kick was really low and missed it. Then Pierre had it. They would score on that drive. With 4:27 left to go in the second quarter, the Pierre Governors get a 2-yard touchdown run. That capped off an 81-yard drive. 2-yard touchdown run was good. The point after was good as well. They take a 14-0 lead. The past couple of games, the Pierre Governors have been really good in the first half, getting out to strong starts. Last week, they shut out Sturgis 3-0 in the first half. Tonight, 14-0 advantage. Spearfish would punt. Pierre would get it back. They would throw another interception as Sire would have the INT for the second time, but then Spearfish has the football and does nothing with it before halftime. So here we are at halftime. The Pierre Governors up 14-0 on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. We send it over to Clayson Davis at KDSJ-TV for his thoughts on what he saw through the lens in this first half.
Yeah, thank you, Cody. And I think it's pretty easy to determine what the story of the first half is for the Spearfish Spartans. And that's the little yellow hankies that have been thrown on the field 12 times for the Spearfish Spartans. As, yes, penalties, they have been the big issue right now for Spearfish. Whenever there's a positive play, Carson Sire has 2 interceptions to give your team a chance to really start any sort of momentum, and then the next or the following play is usually a penalty. So Spearfish, they've been behind the chains the entire time. They haven't been able to run the ball very well. As a Pierre, they've been able to run the ball and have success on the line of scrimmage. They're burning clock in the game so far. So far time with the possession really favors the Governors right now. Spearfish, they want to be the ones to assert dominance on the line of scrimmage and run the ball. Right now, that is the Governors doing that to the Spartans. And then whenever Spearfish does have a chance to touch the ball, it's penalties, it's miscommunication, especially right there pretty much on the goal line when it was a 2nd and short that turned into a 3rd and a mile. And just right now, Spearfish, they have a hard time trying to deal with the Governors because they have a hard time focusing on offense.
Encroachments defensively for the Spearfish Spartans. And again, Dylan Dorn and Katie Vervruska, the receivers, have been quiet tonight. And running the football, Hunter Walters, not much going on the ground for Spearfish to get any drives going. As the Spartans down 14-0 here at halftime, we'll have your Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard coming up next when we take a 2-minute timeout with more of KDSJ Sports coverage of Friday Night Football.
Your Sand and Gravel of Spearfish supports community and school athletics. Plus, they support community development with services in and around the Black Hills. Fisher is an aggregate company headquartered in Spearfish with 2 local commercial quarries in Beulah and Newcastle, Wyoming. They sell all sizes of aggregates for commercial and individual projects from a pickup load to thousands of ton. Whatever you need, Fisher Sand and Gravel, proud supporter of all community, college, and high school athletics. Good luck to all teams and athletes competing in today's game.
Drive it on to victory with the Granite Home Team. At Granite Automotive, making all the right moves and scoring points for a better customer experience is a true team effort. From sales to finance, showroom to service, every Granite Home Team member has a role to play and a job to perform to make sure your next buying experience is your best buying experience. Enthusiastically on your side. Drive Granite. Go team. Go Granite. Buick, Nissan, GMC. Rapid City. Click drivegranite.com.
For nearly 50 years, Low Roofing Incorporated has been the trusted name in commercial roofing across western South Dakota and eastern Wyoming. Family owned and operated since 1975, they bring quality craftsmanship and reliable service to every project, big or small. From repairs to new installations, Low Roofing Incorporated covers it all. Protect your business with the experts who care and products that last. Call 1-800-658-4543. Low Roofing Incorporated, building a legacy of trust, one roof at a time.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of Pillin Optical. Since 1974, Pillin has dedicated its business to serving the community with quality eye care at a great price. The inventory has grown, giving you the widest selection of frames while maintaining the best prices for your family eye care needs. Your family is special, and Pillin Optical wants you to enjoy every minute clearly with them. After all, at Pillin Optical, quality eye care and customer service is the most important thing next to your sight. Pillin Optical, family owned for 50 years, 409 Kansas City Street.
And welcome back here to Hollister Field in Pierre, South Dakota, as the Governors on senior night tonight. Their defense has been the toughest one that the Spartans have gone up against yet this year, and they're showing it as the Govs have the shutout so far, 14-0 over the Spartans. We're at halftime, and let's head it on over to our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. Here's Clayson Davis.
Yeah, thank you, Cody. Take a look at the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. Of course, right here in Class AA, it's the Pierre Governors on top of the Spearfish Spartans, 14-0. We're going to start in Class AAA, where number 3 Sioux Falls Lincoln, they took care of Class AA Aberdeen Central 53-2. So a safety. 53-2 the final in that one. Sioux Falls Lincoln over Class AA Aberdeen Central. Aberdeen Central has now lost 2 straight. Sioux Falls Washington up over Sioux Falls Roosevelt 42-7. That one's in the fourth quarter. O'Gorman taking care of Rapid City Stevens 28-0 at halftime. Sioux Falls Jefferson, they're playing the other Rapid City AAA school in Rapid City Central, and it's Jefferson on top of Central 25-7. And this one just kicking off a massive one in Class AAA. Number 1 Harrisburg at number 2 Brandon Valley. It's Harrisburg. They struck first. This one's right in the middle of the first quarter. Harrisburg up over Brandon Valley 7-0. Going over to Class AA now, Watertown, number 3 in the state. They're taking care of Sturgis at halftime, 22-10 again, that's at halftime. Yankton, number 1 in the state. They're playing T area, and so far it's the Bucks taking care of the Titans 21-7. That one midway through the third quarter. Mitchell and Huron. Mitchell up over the Huron Tigers 20-14. Of course, Huron took care of Aberdeen Central last weekend. Brookings, they're on top of Douglas. Brookings, number 1 just a week ago, fell to Yankton, so they find themselves in the fourth hole. They're up 35-0 over the Douglas Patriots at the beginning of the third quarter. Go to Class 11A now. Rapid City Christian up over Custer 30-0 at halftime. It's Belle Fourche 43 over Lakota Tech 0 with a minute left to go in the second quarter. So Belle Fourche, they look like they're well on their way to their first win of the season. Looking at some more Class Single A action and 11-man football and top 5 action. Sioux Falls Christian up over number 3 Del Rapids 7-0 at halftime. Going to 11B now, St. Thomas More up over Lee Deadwood 43-0 with a minute left to go in the second quarter. In a top 5 battle in 11B, it's number 2 Sioux Valley losing to number 3 Elk Point Jefferson 7-3. That one just starting the second half. Looking at some more scores here in 11B, looks like that's all that we really care about, if we're being honest. Going to 9-man football now, 9AA. Let's see what we have here in 9AA. In a top 2 games in the top 5, number 1 Howard playing Viborg Hurley. Number 1 Howard, they are up 20-14. I do believe Howard's not in that 9AA. If you look at some more scores, number 2 Hamlin over number 3 Elton Lake Benton 24-21. That one's a close one, that one getting ready to go after halftime. Right here in the capital city, it's Stanley County. Well, they're in Fort Pierre. They're leading Potter County 42-12. Going to 9A right now, your Lemon McIntosh Cowboys, Cody. They're up over 34-0 over the Faith Longhorns. Still in the first quarter, so that one's a long way from being done. It's number 2 Wall over Lineman 47-6 as well. Let's see what else we have going on here in 9-man football. Tripp Delmont Armor ACDC 30 over Alcester Hudson, 30-12. Finally in 9B, let's see what we have here. It is Freeman Academy 28 over the number 1 team in a Class 9B and the number 1 team for honestly quite a while. Avon 28-12, that one at halftime as well. Kadoka area up 46-0 over Jones County in a rivalry game over there in the middle of the state in Highway 20 on, and Interstate 90. I'm used to my hometown.
For the great state of Nebraska.
Yes, the great state of Nebraska. I believe
we heard that Marion Freeman Academy, they might upset Avon. From a good friend of ours, Jason Andera from 605 Sports. He called that earlier today.
And right now, that's right on track. It'd be interesting to see the stats on that one. As Freeman Academy, and they are not what you would traditionally see from a 9-man football squad. They like to throw the ball, spread the defense out. As pretty easy you can get spread out in 9-man football, but Freeman Academy 28 over Avon, and Avon's passed the ball 5 times on the entire year. I think they might need to expand the playbook when you're down that many scores in 9-man football. But that is a look at our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. 14-0 here. The 7-time defending state champion Pierre Governors on top of the number 2 ranked Spearfish Spartans. 14-0. I believe the refs right now have the best score of the game with flags thrown, but then again, I believe Spearfish got to clean up your play the second half. Just from a defensive standpoint, with staying sound on defense, covering up the gaps. Again, that offset offensive line for Pierre can be very tricky to defend against. It looks like it's a simple adjustment on film, but Spearfish, they've been having a hard time stopping Pierre run game, and then offensively, it's been the penalties, and when you think you're done with penalties, you got more penalties. So let's see if Spearfish made some halftime adjustments. I know Pierre did. They've been here before. They've done this quite a few times, as Pierre will kick off to the Spearfish Spartans to kick off this second half.
Spartans trying to expand that playbook a little bit here as we get into the second half, especially when you get into the red zone. Let's finish. The Spartans will get the second half kickoff. They'll take it inside the 10, outside the 15 to the 20, and getting some extra yards up to about the 30-yard line. After the pep talks at halftime, both teams back on the field, and Spearfish will start this first down. It's about the 26-yard line around there for this first drive of the second half for the Spearfish Spartans, as we heard from Clayson Davis with KDSJ-TV with our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard update at the half. Thanks to him as he's running all the different camera angles and the audio over there and some graphics. And I just try to do the best I can here over on the radio side as Spartans will send a man in motion. Let's get Hunter Walters involved early, as Spearfish tries to get away from that penalty bug, and they will keep it. Maybe 1 or 2 yards there on the first down play for Spearfish as they keep it on the ground. And penalties can really take any drive and halt it. So we'll see if Spearfish can stay away from the flags and start moving this ball down the field. Limping a little bit here for the Spartans is Cade Vavruska as he comes over here to the near side. Also coming to the near side is Dylan Doran as dual receivers. And a penalty flag comes in from the near sideline for Spearfish. And the Spartans will be penalized again. This is number 13 in the game. What kind of penalty is it?
I believe there'll be a legal shift on the Spartans. Man came in motion. I don't know if he was necessarily set or if he moved forward before the snap. But Spearfish, they use a lot of motion. There's a lot of timing that goes into these plays, and that involves focus from everyone. And just flat, to put it blatantly, that focus is just not there right now for the Spartans.
Our halftime show is being brought to you by Wolf's Plumbing and Heating in Spearfish. Call 605-642-5755 or check out wolfph.com. Spartans on the ground, but the Governors are right there to meet them. And let's see, Lucas with the carry that time for Spearfish as they get nothing going from Evan Wilson and Hunter Walters. Trying to go with somebody else this time, and the Govs stop him. No gain brings up 3rd and 9 here for Spearfish.
You almost wonder for Spearfish if you're trying to get other people involved to really throw a curveball over at Pierre, but right now nothing's working. You wonder how long you're going to go away from Hunter Walters. He might have maybe 3 carries on the game so far, and these drives are going to be very limited the rest of this ball game.
And it's 46 degrees here in Pierre, and they're going against the wind here at Hollister Field in Pierre. Let's see, this will be another carry for Spearfish, and they'll use about 2 minutes of this drive of the opening half here in the second half, but looks like they're going to bring in the punter as 2 minutes gone by, and they lost a yard in the whole process of things, and it'll be a kick here for Spearfish, and it'll be by Marcus, and it'll be taken from the 40 up to midfield into Spartan territory to the 45 and down at about the 42-yard line as Eisenberger comes in with the tackle on the special teams, and the Pierre Governors will start into Spearfish Spartan territory here for their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, that was a good return that time by Pierre that time. I did not see who was there on the return, but good return that's in Spartan territory now. As Pierre, you were able to run the ball quite effectively and then some there on the first half. I would highly doubt they go away from that formula. When they throw the ball, they have a hard time throwing it to Pierre, so they'll look to throw here on first down.
And rolling out, and he will be tackled. Now you just got to make sure you don't have a late hit over here on the near sideline. For the Pierre Governors was Caleb Lounsbury, their quarterback. The junior loses some yards here as he had nobody open downfield. Good coverage by the DBs for Spearfish. That will back him up to about the 48-yard line. So that will be a loss of 8 yards on the play and brings up 2nd and 18 here for the Govs.
And that was a good job that time by the reserve linebacker, Brock Lewis. He was there on the blitz there for the stop. He is one of those outside linebackers that is trying to replace Aiden Kraut in the game.
Pass going down the near sideline here, and that will be incomplete. Pass intended for Carter Merrill, the tailback, and the junior unable to make the catch. So a couple plays here that defensively Spearfish has stayed in the game here. Now brings up 3rd and 18 for Pierre.
Yeah, that was wide open, too, for the Pierre Governors. A little wheel route that time by Merrill, the running back. Pass was a little bit in front of him, but there was no one in front for quite a few yards, and it would have been an easy first down, if not touchdown.
On the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, 14-0 Pierre. This pass will be incomplete, and it hits one of the linemen in the back of the leg. And that was not a good drive for the Pierre Governors as they lose 8 yards on the play. One scramble came over here to the near side. That's where they lost the 8 yards. An incomplete pass followed by another incomplete pass. Clock stops at 9:26. They didn't use much time on this drive. Maybe about 34 seconds is all. And this will bring up a punting situation for the Govs. Back to return for Spearfish will be Dylan Doran. Here's the punt. It's a line drive into Doran's territory. Will he take it on the hop? He will. Gets by one tackler and then out of bounds at around the 22-yard line. So the Spearfish Spartans will start from about their only 22 after the return by Dylan Doran. He took it on 2 bounces, and that was a risky play to take it and run, but he did evade that one tackler before he went out of bounds just past the 20.
Now, honestly, for Spearfish, it might have been one of the smarter decisions by Doran. Risky, yes, but your offense has really done nothing but gone in reverse this entire game, so really no sense of trying to start the ball back up in your own end zone. To really, if you're stopped on 4th down, you're giving the Pierre Governors some good field position now and see if they can get anything going on offense.
And the Spartans will hand it off, and nothing going there for the Spartans with Hunter Walters. As the Pierre Governors, they did their scouting report. They didn't watch a whole lot of last week's game probably against Douglas, but the scouting team has been out on Spearfish and watching them over the past few weeks, knowing that Hunter Walters is their main carrier, and they gobbled him up. And after a gain of about 1, it brings up now 2nd and 9 here for the Spartans. And 8:45 left to play here, 3rd quarter. Spearfish will bring Dylan Doran over here on the near side. We have a receiver on the far side over there by the Spartan sideline. As the Spearfish will hand it off. They go right up the middle and getting up to about the 32-yard line. The Spartans getting some positive yards that time by Hunter Walters, the senior.
That was a good job by Walters. He's starting to slowly break open that defense. It's going to be 3rd and about 5 right now for Spearfish, so I don't know if you necessarily trust your ground game right here. You want to see if you could roll out your quarterback, but whenever you've had a time to really do that, you've been called for holding. So wonder what play call Tom Teason goes with for the Spearfish offense, as they're going to go all the way back into the huddle, way back there. A play clock, I don't see a play clock, and there will be a timeout on the field by the Spearfish Spartans.
So miscommunication there from the sideline to the quarterback as he usually runs over to the sideline, gets his play call, and then brings it back to the huddle. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 30 seconds for more Friday Night Football on KDSJ Sports.
What is it that makes you powerful? It's not only having a voice, but knowing that it's heard loud and clear. We understand knowledge can change your life, and that energy will continue to power it. And because you're part of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we're always listening. Because you're more than just a customer, you're a member. And what's more powerful than that?
Powder River Energy, serving Northeast Wyoming since 1946.
And it will be the Spearfish Spartans to throw. Coming out of the timeout near side, and this will be a pass interference, I believe, on the Pierre Governors. The intended receiver was Dylan Dorn, but all over him was Carson Stoser, the defensive back and a senior. Didn't turn around, and that's most likely going to be pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, that was pretty much one of the easier pass interference penalties you could probably call. As again, the defender turned around, really didn't have a chance to play on the ball, and they'll move Spearfish all the way up to about the 42-yard line. Positive play. It's a first down, something that Spearfish really hasn't got to do much at all this game. Now, if you're the Spartans, got to take advantage of it, down 2 touchdowns.
Spearfish will have it here, first down, not at the spot of the penalty like the NFL, but at their own 42. Bobbles the football, and he throws. This one is going to be picked off by the Pierre Governors with the interception. Number 22 for the Govs is Lincoln Schoenhard, and he'll be down at around the 36-yard line. And a turnover there by the Spearfish Spartans. We've had 2 turnovers on the Pierre Governors tonight, both by interceptions. This time by the Spearfish Spartans. They throw the pick, and that'll be the first turnover on Spearfish, stopping that drive.
Yep, Carson Sire, the quarterback that time. He normally plays wide receiver, now trying to play some quarterback, and I almost wonder if the inexperience that time set in for Carson Sire, not into those high-pressure situations. It looked like he was staring at his receiver the entire time, just kind of threw the ball up. And right there to make the interception right there with Schoenhard, and now Pierre Governors, they are in business.
It'll be Pierre football now for their second drive of the third quarter with 7:32 left to play here in the third quarter on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. 14-0 Pierre Governors as they scored a touchdown on the ground on their first drive of the game. Then in their first drive of the second quarter, they would have a 2-yard touchdown run, and that's where we stand, 14-0. Governors in Spartans territory, and the handoff is met right away by Spearfish defensively. Merrill going nowhere there for the Govs. Coming down with the tackle, number 8, Evan Wilson for the Spartans.
Yeah, the tackle for loss that time by the senior Evan Wilson. Playing outside linebacker position, needing to step up again with Aiden Crowd out of the game so far. Aiden Crowd out for could potentially be the season, so having to have a defense step up, and Evan Wilson, the senior, making a great tackle.
Pierre rolls out. The quarterback looks downfield. He has a man going down about the 5-yard line. That'll be incomplete. Even if he caught it, he would have been out of bounds. So the clock stops at 6:54 left to play here in the third quarter. The pass is incomplete. The receiver had beaten the DB, and the ball was just overthrown and went out of bounds.
We do want to give a shout-out to the Spearfish Spartan Watch Party going on at Cadillac Jackson Deadwood. Thank you for tuning on to KDSJ-TV. Want to give you guys a shout-out for getting some Spearfish Spartan football against the Pierre Governors.
If it wasn't for Tyler Nold, a former Pierre Governor, that's the reason that they probably have it on the big screen. So I don't know what colors he's wearing here on this Football Friday, but glad to have you guys watching down there at Cadillac Jacks.
Probably one of those green hat, maroon jacket type wardrobes.
Third down. It'll be snapped back to the quarterback. Then he takes it himself inside the 30. And probably enough for the first down as he carried a couple of Spartans on his back.
That was the quarterback, Wildcat quarterback, Elijah Bucci again. He's a tight end / defensive lineman they have on the roster. But a 6'3", 220 pounds, bulldozing his way for a first down on 3rd and long. That's one of the, when you have the ability to have a kid like that running downhill at your defense with that big offensive line coming behind you, it's definitely an advantage for the offense.
6.5 minutes left to go here, third quarter. Pierre starting to use some of the clock here in this third quarter, and this will be a handoff for the Govs, and not much going there as coming in with the tackle. Nice job for the Spearfish Spartans. Asher Peel, the junior defensive lineman, makes the tackle. Gain of about 1. As we welcome you in tonight for KDSJ 980 AM, 103.5 FM, KDSJ980.com. Also, KDSJ Sports mobile app. We have a camera set up all over the field here with KDSJ-TV. Clayson Davis manning that, and just kind of peeking here on your monitor. It's going to be at the 29-yard line as the Pierre Governors have the football.
And they'll pitch it back. Gets it inside the 20 to about the 15. Trying to get a good block there from his offensive lineman was Carter Merrill. And the junior gains some good yards, brings up third and about 3.
Yeah, that toss play, that's what Pierre has really worked the entire game. Tosses to the outside to get the defense to over-pursue to try to get an angle over there on the sideline. Makes a wide-open cutback lane for Merrill to choose. Takes that cutback lane, and now it's third and short.
And under center this time go the Pierre Governors. They will hand it off, and nothing going there. Spearfish brings him down in the backfield. Nice tackle there by Spearfish. And looks like Walters was in there, Evan Wilson.
Also can't forget number 22, Lathan Lucas, middle linebacker there, wearing the cowboy collar. A little bit of throwback for the Spearfish linebacker.
4th and about 3. Over 4.5 minutes left to go here, third quarter. We haven't had as many penalties here in the third quarter. Let's knock on wood. And let's see, man in motion here for the Pierre Governors. Spearfish got to follow him over to that side. Looks like the middle linebacker for Spearfish trying to motion people over on a 4th and 3. The quarterback keeps it himself. He already has a rushing touchdown, and he gets some yards here down to around the 10-yard line for Pierre. No penalties, and that'll move the chains for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, that's Bucci again. Pulling lineman and left a wide open hole for the 6'3", 225-pound Wildcat quarterback to scamper through. And again, when he has a head of steam, he is hard to stop for not just anyone from the high school level, but just unless you're playing on Sundays, it's hard to stop any kid of that size running at you full speed.
Using the clock again on this drive, trying to punch it in as they get down. Let's see, this will be just outside the 10-yard line. So under 4 minutes left to go. They have this play go into the end zone, but we did see a penalty flag right at the snap, so I believe this is going to be coming back. Carter Merrill had the carry, but the officials will call this one dead. Stops the clock with 3:38 left to go, and we'll get the call from the official. An illegal formation on the Pierre Governors. So that is penalty number 4 on them on the night. That'll back them up a little bit. We'll see if Spearfish can come up with the stop on D. Their first defensive possession, they forced a punt. But now Pierre is down inside the red zone. It'll be 1st and 15. The Governors look over to the near side here and get the play call. This is Lounsbury as their quarterback. He's waiting for that clock to wind down on the play clock. Now hands it off. And running that time was number 24 for the Pierre Governors. And that was Carter Merrill, their tailback. The junior gets maybe a yard as we see the down marker just move a little bit over there on the far side. Brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a good job. Lathan Lucas again. Lucas, only a junior. He's been flying all over the field defensively for Spearfish, there to help stop the running game of Pierre. As now the clock ticks just about under 3 minutes to go now.
Rolling out, Pierre Governors find a man, and it is caught at about the 3-yard line, and that'll be a passing catch. Lounsbury throws it to Dilgis. The wide receiver makes the catch, and that'll bring up a play inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 2 to go. They're going to say it's at the 3. They need to get to the 1 for a new set of downs.
And guess who comes in at quarterback, and he's wearing number 1 in green. That's Bucci over there, the Wildcat quarterback. I don't think you need 3 guesses to know what's going to happen.
He's going to keep the football, and he's going to run it into the end zone. Maybe. He's stopped at the goal line. And the officials are going to say down at the 1, but I believe that gives them the first down. And Bucci, again, with the keeper himself, so he runs right up the middle. And that'll be a first down for the Govs as they're right there on the goal line trying to get in for the 3rd time tonight.
Yep, I don't think you need to guess what's coming up next, as Bucci will stay in there at quarterback. Spearfish, they haven't been able to stop this all game, and now they'll have Spearfish. They will call a timeout. It is their second of the half, so they'll be left with the rest of the game with just one timeout left to go.
I think they wanted to bring in some more personnel, probably not more personnel, that would be illegal, but different personnel and more people probably in the box to try to stop the run of Bucci. As the Pierre Governors have the advantage here in the third quarter, 14-0. We're flying through this third frame with 2:25 left to play here in the third quarter on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. What do you got over there? How about those Lemon Macintosh Cowboys? Good news from them tonight? Question mark, Clayson Davis. How we doing?
40-0 over the Faith Longhorns. So pretty good showing right now for your Lemon Macintosh Cowboys over there up in northwestern South Dakota.
I don't think Faith has won a game yet this year.
I don't think they have.
Well, got to get a win. Either way, last game of the regular season tonight for the smaller schools as the playoffs start next Thursday. Playoff implications in this one when it comes to seeding points is Bucci will keep it, and he spins around, and maybe some different personnel coming in for the Spartans help things out as they stop him at the 1-yard line. Let's see, in there was Hunter Walters, also Lathan Lucas in there with the stop. No huddle. Bucci has it as he goes as quarterback again. He's going to do it. He's going to get a little bit lower this time, trying to sneak underneath his lineman. Maybe get a tush push, and I don't think he got in. With under 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter, they're spotting him outside the goal line, and it's going to bring up now a 3rd and goal.
Yeah, and I think Pierre's just going to like to keep him in there. I mean, why not? I mean, aside from these past 2 plays, which, of course, everyone in the entire state and universe knew what play was coming up next, as I believe they'll just keep Bucci in there. I wonder if you want to go for a little pop pass in the back of the end zone, if that might be a little too risky from what the Governors really want to do on 3rd and goal, but Bucci will stay in there at quarterback.
And he sends a man in motion. And nope, he's going to take it himself, and the 3rd time's the charm as he gets into the end zone. Touchdown by Bucci and the Pierre Governors. As TJ, let's see, Bucci gets in. He's usually a tight end and a defensive lineman, but he finishes off the drive that time, and it'll be a touchdown for the Govs to go up 20-0. And they will try the extra point. 1:17 left to play in the third. And the point after is good. So the Pierre Governors and another drive with a touchdown. They used a lot of clock there in that third quarter. Capped it off with a 3rd and goal. About a 2-yard rushing touchdown. For the second time tonight, they get rushing touchdowns. They had a receiving touchdown on their first drive of the game in the first quarter, and it's been all Pierre Governors on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, shutting out the Spearfish Spartans 21-0. 1:17 left to go in the third. We'll be back with more Friday Night Football on KDSJ Sports.
No matter what life throws in your direction, Dana Dental Arts and Spearfish reminds you to make you and your family's dental health a top priority. Putting off small problems now can lead to big ones later. We are small enough to feel like family, but big enough to bring you the latest technology. Before your lives get too hectic with school, sports, and other extracurricular activities, schedule a comprehensive exam now. We love our patients. Celebrating 50 years of dentistry in Spearfish.
Let our family care for your family.
Whether you've
And the return here by Spearfish from about the 20 up to the 30, and then keep his legs moving up to the 32 for the Spearfish Spartans. So that's where they'll start this drive. It's their 3rd drive of the third quarter. Their first drive ended with a punt. Second drive, they threw an interception. We'll see what they do on this drive for the Spearfish Spartans as the Pierre Governors just capped off. I think it was a 12-play, 80-yard drive. Capped it off with a short yardage touchdown by Bucci, and the point after was good. 21-0 Govs. 1:10 left to go here. Third quarter, Spearfish back on offense.
Quick look at the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. Huron in a good one versus Mitchell. Huron up 22-20 over Mitchell. As we got a good carry that time by Hunter Walters. He'll scamper over for a gain of 8. I believe that's his best carry of the game. Trying to get Hunter Walters going. Actually, they'll give him a gain of 10, and it'll be another first down for the Spearfish offense. as Spearfish see if they can get some sort of momentum going. Hunter Walters, he'll now exit the game. Enter Mick Bosch, the backup running back at 5'5", wearing number 33 for Thomas Hughes and the Spearfish offense. He'll get the carry here on first down, second drive of the carry, breaks one tackle and then eventually scampers forward for a gain of about 2 to 3. The ball does come out, but they'll mark him down. That'll be a gain of about 3, and it'll bring up second down and 7.
Let's show some love to our sponsors tonight. Thanks to Low Roofing, also in the Millstone Family Restaurant, the host site of the From the Bench podcast each week on KDSJ-TV, and also thanks to Butte County Equipment in Belle-Fourche. Coming down, last 10 seconds left here of the third quarter. Spearfish will try to get one more playoff. I think they've been called for just one penalty this quarter, but they can't get anything going on offense on this final play of the quarter as they hand it off, and it goes nowhere. Good tackle there by the Governor defense as the Spearfish Spartans, Mick Bosch, the junior, running the play that time on the ground, and it'll be a third down coming up here as we go to the fourth quarter. The Pierre Governors trying to get back-to-back wins for the first time since way back earlier in the season. It is 21-0 now in favor of Pierre as we enter the fourth quarter next. We'll be back in 1 minute on KDSJ Sports.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity, hydrostatic or gear transmission options, and affordably priced. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. See Butte County Equipment, located on U.S. Highway 212, Belle-Fourche, or go online to automotivecompanyin.com.
As we come back to action to begin the fourth quarter here in Pierre at Hollister Field, we switch sides. Spearfish Spartans now going left to right on your radio dial and your TV screen or your computer monitor. And Spearfish throws that pass. It was incomplete on third down, so that brings up a 4th and 8 for the Spartans. And it looks like they'll bring on the special teams, and they get the punt off that time by Sam Marcus. It'll take a bounce at the 20, take a Spartan roll across the field down to around the 10, inside the 10, and maybe even inside the 5-yard line that time. A good roll adds to the punt yardage there for Marcus. And the Spearfish Spartans will bring their defense back on, see if they can get a stop, because that offensive drive didn't go anywhere. And they go from the third to the fourth quarter and still down 21-0. Spartans on the road this year. They have had some interesting games. Went to Mitchell and won 43-0, but then they go to Aberdeen Central and lose late in that game. Then they went to Watertown, took down the number 1 team in the state in double overtime. That had its roller coaster game. And now for the fourth, then they just barely beat Rapid City Central earlier this season on the road. So again, trying to get some of the road wearies out of the way and defensively get a nice tackle there. Gang tackle. I believe, we'll give some credit to Asher Peel being in there on the tackle. Spearfish, this is their last road game of the regular season. They'll wrap things up for the regular season next Thursday night at home against rival Sturgis Scoopers. 2nd and 7 coming up here for the Pierre Governors. Back deep in their own territory at about the 5-6 yard line. The quarterback will take his time, claps his hands, then pitches the football over, and we'll have penalty flags come over in that direction. Maybe a holding on the offense. We'll see what the officials say here as the clock stops with 10:53 left to go in the fourth.
Yeah, I did not quite see. Of course, it's just kind of a hodgepodge of white and green jerseys over there on the far side of the field. So even through my little monitor, I'm not able to see what happened. As now our game officials are talking amongst themselves to try to figure out what the foul was.
There was, I believe, 2 flags that came in from the far sideline.
I think they just spot the ball and then let them play. No gain. Unless it was offsetting penalties. Even if it was, it'd been a replay of down. So I guess they pick up the flag, and we're going to play on with a 3rd and 7.
I wish they would have picked up some of those flags in the first half, but the Spartans had about 13 penalties.
They'd still be picking up flags.
10:40 left to go in the 4th quarter.
It looked like a road crew picking up littering on the side of the highway.
3rd down. Pierre goes to throw, and down the field they go. Good defensive play there by the Spartans. Getting up in the air and knocking it down.
That was Carson Sire. He's had himself a pretty good game. He's been the interception machine on defense. Well, and really on offense, for being honest. He did throw that 1 pick. But on defense, he's been having good coverage on the outside. That time going up against the taller tight end that time in Cooper Terwillinger. And that'll bring up a much-needed 3-and-out for the Spearfish Spartan defense.
I believe Sire has more catches on defense than the Spartans do on offense by looking at things tonight. It'll be a fair caught by the Spartans by Dylan Doran at around the 33-yard line. So a punt of maybe about 25 yards is all that time by the Pierre Governors. So Spearfish starts this drive in Pierre territory. 10:20 left to go here in the 4th quarter on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. The Spartans getting shut out tonight, 21-0. Last week they shut out Douglas, 58-0. They used a lot of players in that game last week. It was a week that Spearfish could get healthy in a lot of ways, but then going on the road tonight, and it started off with penalties and a lot of mistakes in that first half, putting him behind the 8 ball here as Spearfish will hand it off, and unable to get Hunter Walters going offensively on the ground tonight. They hand it off this time to Walters, and that will be stopped right there at the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard.
Yeah, as that pistol formation for Spearfish. That's what they scored on against Watertown. It gets Hunter Walters running downhill. See if they can develop a hole, but it's just there was no hole to develop that big defensive line in there for Pierre, clogging up the holes, and really no room at all to run for Hunter Walters there on that first down play.
2 receivers set, 1 to the each side. Spearfish go to the air, down the field they go, and this one is incomplete. Almost caught there by the Spearfish Spartan, but he just dropped it inside the 10-yard line. And I believe that was Vavruska, the intended receiver over there for Spearfish, unable to haul it in.
I think that was number 4, Dylan Doran, there on that far side. I can't really see very well. It's there on the far side of the field. But now it's a 3rd and 9 for the Spearfish Spartans, and these drives are really starting to get very few and far in between. So definitely need to at least get the first down before you worry about trying to get to the end zone.
Here is the shotgun formation, and it'll be a handoff for Spearfish, then slipping up at about the 25-yard line, then going down. That was Hunter Walters for Spearfish. Maybe we could have got another couple yards, but slipped up there, and that'll be enough for a Spartan first down.
Yeah, that time Hunter Walters, I wondered if he wanted to try to cut back against that defender, and of course playing here on a grass field, not quite. It's a little bit harder to cut against the grass, as the grass is a lot more giving than it is field turf. So Hunter Walters, he slips down, but it's a gain of 12. His best carry on the day, I do believe, so that will bring up a 1st and 10, a new set of downs for Spearfish here with 9 minutes left to go in the game.
And let's see, 21-0. Pierre Governors with the advantage. Here's the handoff, goes to Walters, and he runs into the end zone. We take a glance over the football field. There is no flags, And thank goodness, Spartans are on the board. 8:55 left to play in the fourth quarter, and finally Hunter Walters breaks through.
Yeah, Hunter Walters breaks it to the outside. There's room up, there hasn't been much room up the middle running for Spearfish, but that time Hunter Walters finally able to break it to the outside and break it in over for a touchdown. And Spearfish, they're not done yet.
8:55 left to play in the fourth quarter. Spartans get on the board. It's going to happen sooner or later, and then the point after is good, so it's 21-7 on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. As we say thanks to more of our sponsors tonight, including Jake's Collision Repair with locations in Spearfish and Sturgis. Also thanks to Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine as we come to you from the broadcast booth here at Hollister Field in Pierre. Thanks to Monument Health for setting us up here and out of the wind and the chilly temps, the coldest football game we've had so far this season as it gets down into the 40s here in Pierre this evening. Also thanks to Heisling Concrete. So the Spartans get on the board here in the fourth quarter, 21-7, and the Spartans got the job done on the ground with Hunter Walters capping things off.
Yeah, Hunter Walters finally able to find some room over there on that right side of the offensive line and tried going up the middle a few times. That big, stout defensive line for Pierre really wasn't having it. But Hunter Walters finally starting to get a little bit of momentum rolling. Still down by 2 scores. Your defense just stopped a 3 and out. So Spearfish still a long ways to go in this one. But the hardest part to get going on a comeback is the start. And Spearfish just got one here.
Again, a big thing here in the second half. Spearfish hasn't been penalized as much as they were in the first half. Spearfish had 12 penalties in the first half, only 1 here in the second half. I think there was a one-sided conversation probably at halftime in the Spartans locker room, and maybe the point got across. And now Spearfish will kick it away here, and we'll see what they can do again on defense, or maybe a special teams play coming up. Here's the kick, and it will be a short one, and this one will bounce at around the 30-yard line, get it up to the 35, to the 40. Pierre trying to get another blocker, and he gets it all the way to midfield. So with the short kick, he returns it. Number 19 for the Pierre Governors. That is Sun and Shine. What a great last name, Sun and Shine. 8:46 left to play, fourth quarter.
That kid's got to have just a positive attitude every single day.
Right at midfield we are. That knows the football is at the 50-yard line. Pierre is going into the wind. Let's open this door and see how much wind we have. Oh, we have a breeze. Let's close that door. So we're out of the wind here at the Monument Health broadcast booth, and a handoff and getting shot out of a Callan is number 24 for the Pierre Governors. Nice carry there by Carter Merrill. And let's see, Vervrusco with the tackle, and it's going to be a gain of about 8 yards. He had some speed coming out of the backfield there for the Pierre Governors and gained a nice 8 yards now for Pierre. Going to use this clock. Trying to have a long drive here on the game clock. Spearfish trying to make it as quick as possible, though. Spearfish brings up 4 guys to the defensive line. One of the linemen points across. Meanwhile, the quarterback now goes under center for Pierre as they use every second of this play clock, and they will hand it off. And in, it's going to be the carry from Merrill, and that will be a first down for the Pierre Governors as he gets through to move those chains.
Yeah, the running game for Pierre starting to assert its dominance as started to go through the air, almost trying to do too much last drive on that quick 3 and out. Spearfish, they have a momentum offensively, so Pierre, you just want to take the air out of the football, take the time off the clock, and come home, get out of this game with a senior day win.
Next week, Pierre ends their season at Douglas, so a winnable game there, and they could find themselves just climbing the ladder here in Class 11 AA with the playoffs beginning in a couple of weeks. Here's the handoff to Merrill for the Pierre Governors. He's tackled by a swarm of Spartans, and let's see who gets off the pile there for Spearfish. Number 22, Lathan Lucas, with another tackle as he piles up his tackles for the season just like he did last year. He's always around the football defensively. So has Sire tonight with a couple of interceptions. And Spearfish, their only score was this fourth quarter as they took, some time off the clock there and get the touchdown. And let's see, man in motion for Pierre. As Spearfish has scored their touchdown here in the fourth quarter. The Pierre Govs scored a touchdown there late in the third quarter with 1:17 left to go. That was a touchdown run, and the point after was good. That capped off a 12-play, 80-yard drive. Then as the quarters went from third to the fourth, Spearfish was able to get the Hunter Walters rushing touchdown to get on the board. And now we are into the fourth quarter. Pierre Governors with the football. They elect to call a timeout here. And during this timeout, we'll let you know what we have coming up tomorrow afternoon on KDSJ Sports on the radio dial. It'll be the Black Hills State University Yellow Jackets on the road as they head down to Pueblo, Colorado to take on CSU Pueblo, the third ranked team that they've had to play in the last 4 weeks. And the RMAC doesn't get much tougher as a road trip all the way down there tomorrow to take on CSU Pueblo at 1 o'clock right here on KDSJ 980. 103.5 in the Northern Hills, as well as KDSJ980.com. And with the KDSJ Sports mobile app, Steve Emmerman will have the call from the Black Hills State CSU College football tomorrow on Saturday. Second down, 8 to go. Pierre sends a man in motion to the far side. Governors will hand it off and bringing him down in the backfield. Nice tackle there for him. Spearfish just getting a piece of cloth and bringing him down was Cole Malo.
Yeah, Cole Malo breaking through the line. He had an offensive lineman on him, but Cole Malo able to reach out a hand, bring down the ball carrier for a massive loss, and it'll be third and about 12.
As we get into the 9 o'clock hour Central Time, 8 o'clock back in the Black Hills on KDSJ Sports tonight, radio and through KDSJ-TV. Thanks for listening and watching over on the YouTube channel and Facebook Live. Looked like Spearfish might have gone over the line, but he did get back. No penalty flag thrown here. And now Pierre using some more of that clock, under 5:50 left to go. Pass on over, and it's incomplete towards the Spearfish sideline. Pass goes incomplete there, intended for number 12, Cooper, the tight end. It goes incomplete, brings up a fourth down. Now the football is at the 35. It would be a 52-yard field goal. Not quite sure if the freshman kicker for Pierre has the distance for the field goal, so it looks like they will go for the punt. And Caleb Lounsbury, who is the quarterback, is also the punter. So he'll punt it here from about midfield. Get it high up in the air. And this one will bounce at around the 22-yard line. And I don't think half the Spartans knew where that ball was up in the air until it bounced. And then it was taken by Spearfish for not much of a return. That was way up in the air, the punt. And then Spearfish will have the football.
And that was Marcus Medina on the catch. You wonder if you just let that ball bounce, it would have rolled forward and give Spearfish a few more yards. As the moment Medina picked up the ball, there was about 6 green jerseys right in front of him there for no return.
And Spartans will start this drive. First and 10 just outside the 20-yard line as they go left to right with the wind. And running around is Thomas Hughes. He goes over to the far sideline, and he is tackled there. Looking here on the near sideline, one guy we know is an assistant coach for the Pierre Governors, Josh Schleisner. Coach Slice, former Black Hills State University Yellow Jacket. He was a track coach and assistant football coach up in Belle-Fourche. Now his first year out here in Pierre. SPED coordinator for the high school, working to try to get some more of his teaching certification. He works with the DBs and the special teams and some of the linebackers here for the Pierre Governors. That's Josh Schleisner. So talked to him for a little bit before the game. Also above us in the coach's box for the Pierre Governors, former Douglas Patriots head coach and former Indoor Football League player, Dan Maciejczak, or Coach Magic, as we call him. He's upstairs as an assistant coach for the Govs. Third down for the Spartans, looking to go downfield to try to get that first down, and they almost threw it to the wrong team. That is incomplete, and turning into a receiver real quick there for the Pierre Governors was number 19, Sutton Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine about made things brighter for the Pierre Governor defense as he about pulled away with that interception. Cade Vavruska, the intended receiver, fell down and his route slipped, and that makes everyone on the offensive side hold their breath when a receiver falls down, and the DB pretty much becomes the intended receiver.
Fourth down for Spearfish. You're down by 2 touchdowns. You're going to go for it here in the fourth quarter with 4:22 left. And let's see, one receiver here on the near side. Now he's going to go and move. The quarterback has it, and he's looking downfield. He might get sacked. He gets rid of it at the last second, and it's incomplete. And the Pierre Governors will take the ball over in great territory inside the 25-yard line. So a big stop by the Pierre Governors defensively. They did good coverage downfield. That one play almost got the interception a couple plays ago. This time, great coverage again, not giving Thomas Hughes any spot to throw.
Yeah, it was almost another miscommunication because it looks like it should have been a false start as Cade Vavruska came in motion across the formation. He actually moved before the snap, but they let the play go, so the timing was off from the start. No one was open, and it was just an easy incompletion. Is going to go down the field, and that's a touchdown catch for the Pierre Governors. One play, and that will put the nail in the coffin for the Pierre Governors as Carter Shufflebine, the sophomore wide receiver, jumps over the defender Aiden Meverden for the touchdown, and it is now 27-7 in favor of the Pierre Governors.
One play drive. Again, they took over in really good field position there, and it was Lounsbury throwing it to Shufflebine for the TD. Now 27-7, and caught him in stride there in the end zone. The point after is good to make it 28-7 on the Junic scoreboard with 4:09 left to go here in the fourth quarter as the Governors take control. We'll be back with more Football Friday right here on KDSJ Sports.
Here for years, or if you're new to town, everyone wants to know the best place to buy a quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, or where to go to have your current ride kept in shape. Brandon Kemp here from Superior Auto Solutions in Spearfish. Need new tires? We got them, all major brands. Your brakes squeaking, or do you just hear something that's not quite right? We can help. Or maybe you're looking to upgrade to something a little more suitable. Well, you came to the right place. Superior Auto Solutions on Colorado Boulevard in Spearfish, or find us online at superiorautost.com.
Quality food at a fair price. That's what you expect, and that's what you'll get at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or to grab a bite to eat before or after the game. Choose from daily specials, and a trip to the fresh soup and salad bar is always a hit. Plus, the Millstone can accommodate larger groups, like buses or your next meeting in their private party room. So, if it's just you and a friend or the whole team, get a great meal at a great price. The Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish.
And let's see, Pierre will get ready to kick it off here in the fourth quarter. And Spearfish has a couple guys back, and they're not going to get the football. They lose the football, went right through the hands. They touched it, and the Pierre Governors recover.
Yeah, Dylan Dorn had a chance at it, almost misjudged the distance as it went right through his hand. Bounced off his foot, rolled forward right to some Pierre Governors, and the Pierre Governors, they already put one nail in the coffin last drive. Let's see if they can put in another one here with about 4:05 left to go in the game.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. And that was another turnover. Now each team with 2 turnovers in the game. Spearfishers also had a turnover on downs. And the Pierre Governors looking stronger week by week here as we go through this month of October. Again, I wouldn't want to play them in November. This is the 8th game of the regular season, and Pierre will have the football. Here's another pass. It is caught. Nice catch. Then coming down the near sideline and getting out of bounds at about the 1 yard line. That was a pass from Lounsbury. And then Cooper, the 6'5" tight end, makes a great catch, spins around, comes down the near sideline, and almost gets into the end zone.
Yeah, Cooper Tell-Werlinger able to, again, a great snag, able to go up and get it at 6'5". As a Wellinger, it's now going to be 1st and goal from about the 4 yard line for the Governors.
And Pierre has the football as they come under center. Under 4 minutes left to go here in the fourth. They hand it off, and they are hitting pay dirt as the Pierre Governors score their second touchdown in about 30 seconds. That was just a rushing play, and Spearfish did not put up a fight that time.
Nope, simple 3-yard gain, 3-yard touchdown that time by Carter Merrill, the junior running back, and the Pierre Governors starting to lay it on the Spearfish Spartans. As Pierre Governors 3-4 on the year, but they're still the Pierre Governors. And again, with all the injuries they've been facing with it this year, they're starting to take form, and they're starting to return to their state championship form as the PAT is good. And now we got flags on the field, and they're pointing at Spearfish. So to add insult to injury, you already have had enough penalties already, and now you might get another unsportsmanlike conduct now against Spearfish.
Pierre Governors had a touchdown pass to Scheffelbein with 4:09 left to play here in this fourth quarter. And then after the turnover by Spearfish with 3:53 left to go in the fourth quarter, the Pierre Governors cap off a quick drive with the 3-yard touchdown run by Merrill. So I'm doing my lemon math here. We got 16 seconds go off the clock, and they score 2 touchdowns, and it's 35-7, just like that, as the Govs, their last home game of the regular season, senior night, and wanting to do it for the seniors tonight in front of their hometown crowd. And they are showing up here in the fourth quarter to put a cap on this one. Now up 35-7 with 3:53 left to go in the fourth quarter. Spearfish, again, penalties cost him in the first half. They've had a couple of turnovers here in the second half. They threw an interception in the third quarter and then turned the ball over there on that attempted kick return. And the Spartans just got a regroup mindset again. Under 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, down 35-7.
Yeah, at this point for the Spartans, you're not going to come back and win this game. You need to get some sort of positive momentum just to go into the rivalry game next week versus Sturgis. As this one, it hasn't been there. Nothing has really worked for the Spartans, minus the 1 touchdown run and then a few interceptions by Carson Sire. But Spearfish, again, no matter really what is, for the most part, nothing has worked for them offensively. As now up here, they will kick from the 45-yard line of Spearfish. After that unsportsmanlike conduct against the Spartans. Again, if you're the Spartans, just adding insult to injury with these penalties. Again, nothing necessarily that forces, nothing necessarily that's like effort penalty like a holding or a block in the back or anything during the play, but they've all been pre- and post-snap penalties. So just lack of focus so far for the Spartans, really the entire game. And that was the story against Aberdeen Central. It was the story versus Huron when the Spearfish, it was kind of in a power struggle with the Tigers to escape with a 7-point win, and that was the case here tonight versus the 7-time state champion Pierre Governors.
Coach Steve Steele, in his 9th year as head coach of the Pierre Governors, said they wanted to get out to a lead early. Well, they did. They were up 7-0 after their first drive. Another topic of discussion was finish their offensive drives. Well, they've done that here in the fourth quarter, scoring a couple of touchdowns thanks to some short fields. And Dylan Doran makes the catch here for Spearfish on the first play of this drive as Spearfish goes left to right down the field. They make the catch there right at about midfield, maybe into Governor territory. And let's see, this will have Spearfish go no huddle. They'll get some receivers set and try to get something done positively here in the final 3.5 minutes. Here's Hughes, throws over, and This pass will be caught over here on the near side. Making the catch for the Spartans was Evan Wilson. When the Spartans had to go one-dimensional there with the running game, and then Hunter Walters wasn't able to do much on offense rushing the football. Spearfish got in trouble early in this game up against a good defense of the Pierre Governors. So Spearfish has second down. They'll hand it off to Walters. Walters gets some positive yards, maybe the 30 to the 25, 20. Here we go. Cuts back at the 10 and gets himself some extra yards down inside the 5 to around the 3-yard line. Hunter Walters not giving up on the night, the senior for the Spartans. And they get the ball inside the 10. This will be a 1st and goal coming up here for the Spartans.
Hunter Walters almost looked like if he didn't cut back, he was able to outrun the defense and score. And now instead, Spearfish, they'll be set up in the red zone, which is something that the Spartans have struggled really the whole year, is red zone defense, with now 3 minutes left to go in the game. Full house backfield for the Spartans. It just will be a simple handoff to Walters, breaking it up the middle. I don't know if he got in or not. It's just a giant pile right there at about the 2-yard line, so it'll be short, and then he'll bring up 2nd down and goal.
That interception that Sire had back in the first quarter, he almost ran that back for a touchdown. He was down at the 1, and then Spearfish was unable to get any points off of that drive as they ended up missing a 26-yard field goal. Walters does have the lone score for Spearfish. He has a rushing touchdown here in the 4th quarter. Spearfish, a lot of guys in the backfield. Who's going to get the football? And they hand it off. Does he get in? As the official comes running in from the far side, they will say he stopped outside the goal line. So now a 3rd and goal coming up here for Spearfish. The Pierre Governors stopping him right there, shy of the touchdown. Now Hughes will look down on his arm, get the play call, comes over. Hopefully everybody's on the same page. I'm going to call a Thomas Hughes run himself here. With 1:48 left to play here in the 4th quarter, a guy gets off the field just in time for Spearfish, and instead of having 12 men on the field, they're going to be penalized for a delay of game, I believe. I'm going to say illegal substitution. So as the Spartan was trying to get off the field, explain what an illegal substitution would be.
As the offense, they'll have time to sub, and then once they're done subbing, the defense will have time to sub. And after that, an offensive player cannot come on to the field or leave the field as well. So, and just like I was in the first goal line trip, right there on the doorstep of the end zone, brought back by a penalty.
3rd down and goal for Spearfish. Looking to the end zone, firing it up in the air, and that pass is caught for the Spearfish Spartans. Let's get on the board again for the touchdown pass. That is to Dylan Doran, the senior wide receiver, makes the touchdown catch. So Thomas Hughes has his first touchdown pass of the night to make it 35-13 on the Junix scoreboard.
Yeah, it was just a simple fade route to the big receiver out there. That was Dylan Doran. Right there making the catch. Spearfish making the scoreboard just a little more respectable. And now on for the PAT. I know they're actually going to go for 2 this time.
I'd like more points. See if they can get it. Here's the pass. It is incomplete, but a penalty flag comes down there from the back of the end zone. So we may, just maybe, have defensive pass interference on this 2-point conversion try. It is a penalty on the Govs. So they tried to get it to Doran on the slant, and it was incomplete, but then really good and probably too close and too physical of coverage there. So Spearfish will try to go for 2 again.
So now they're just a little bit closer. Now you're at the 1, and see if you can be able to run it in here from the 1-yard line.
They will hand it off to Hunter Walters. And let's see. No, yeah, we do put 2 arms up in the air. That's a 2-point conversion for the Spearfish Spartans. So after the Hughes to Doran touchdown pass, they get the 2-point conversion there by Hunter Walters. So Spartans down by 20, 35-15 with 1:28 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Spartans scoring all their points here in the 4th. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout on KDSJ Sports.
Jake's Collision Repair has built their reputation by offering the highest quality, guaranteed repairs in the area. Satisfied customers return again and again for everything from collision repair to custom paint, glass and windshield, and the best hail repair in the region. They're preferred by most insurance companies and work with all of them. Jake's Collision Repair of Spearfish and Sturgis. Give them a Google today for the best repair on your vehicle, guaranteed.
Well, that drive was 6 plays, took 80 yards as they try an onside kick, and the Pierre Governors will get it there at about the 45-yard line. So Spearfish actually capping off a drive in the red zone at the goal line. They get the pass there from Hughes to Doran, and then the two-point conversion is good by Walters. And let's see, 1:27 left to go, fourth quarter. Pierre up 35-15. And the official gets the football. It was offsides on the receiving team, so that would be on the Pierre Governors, as one of the officials comes over and talks to the coach here for Pierre. So let's see, do we re-kick?
I believe that is the case. We will just re-kick, and if you're Spearfish, having another chance at an onside kick. So we'll see if Spearfish will be able to get an onside kick. Again, 1:27 left to go in the game. You're really not expecting anything crazy to happen here.
It would be fun if it did.
It would be. It would be good
We're down by 20. Get a couple of touchdowns, make this baby interesting.
We need 3 scores and a minute 27. So pretty much a score, an onside kick, a score, an onside kick, and a score.
Without any penalties.
And 1 singular timeout.
So we're going to try this again. Let's see. We're going to get the special teams out there. Sam Marcus will try to kick. Is he going to kick it deep, or will it be an onside kick?
I'd be surprised to see if he kicked it anything past 10 yards. No? Well, he did.
This will probably go out of bounds, which will be a penalty on Spearfish. Am I right? Wrong?
Yep, that will be a penalty. I believe they just tried kicking it over the line and just having their fast guys run past the Pierre return team and try to recover the ball, much like what Pierre did to Dylan Doran and the Spearfish return team earlier this quarter. But did not work as the ball runs out of bounds. And now Pierre, they'll just have a minute 27. Probably need 1 first down to officially seal the game. And Pierre will improve to 500 on the year at 4-4. And Spearfish, they will drop, get their second loss of the season. Don't know if they will stay in the top 5. I believe they might maybe stay at that number 5 rank, as Pierre will probably jump back into the top 5 rankings, as the state will probably put Pierre in front of Spearfish after this contest. We'll look at some other scores with our post-game show and look at our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard while we're at it. But this one, just a few more kneel downs, and there'll be a final here in Pierre as the clock rolls under 1 minute left to go in the game. Here a second down and about 11. And
this seemed kind of out of reach in the second quarter. With all those penalties and the Spearfish Spartans were down by 14 points, it looked like it was a huge hill to climb.
Yeah, getting those penalties in the first half pretty much took Spearfish's game plan and completely threw it out of the window. It's hard to go up against any team when pretty much your biggest opponent is yourselves. As now Spearfish, they will call a timeout.
Not nearly as many penalties here in the second half on the Spearfish Spartans. All their scoring have come here in the fourth quarter, as they've scored 15 points. Well, Pierre has also scored 15 points here in this fourth quarter, as they've continued to have that 2, now 3 touchdown lead, up 35-15 here late in the fourth quarter. I see 17 seconds left. Maybe Pierre has to snap it one more time. I think they're starting to shake hands, and they don't even need to snap it. So Pierre Governors on senior night for 15 seniors. They get the victory tonight to get back to 500 on the season to 4-4. Sends Spearfish, second ranked by the media polls, third ranked by the seeding points. They will be dropping down before their final game of the regular season next week, and that is the rivalry matchup with the Sturgis Scoopers next Thursday night. Again, your final on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. The Pierre Governors 35 and the Spearfish Spartans 15. Thanks for listening here on KDSJ Radio and also KDSJ-TV. We'll have your post-game show coming up as we'll recap the scoring and some of the drives. There's a few turnovers in there and penalty flags thrown in the first half. We'll recap all that, as well as the Junix scoreboard and our player of the game. And we will also have a look at what's ahead here on KDSJ Sports and for the Spearfish Spartans. As the teams shake hands here at midfield at Hollister Field in Pierre, the Governors win it 35-15. We'll talk more about it when we come back in the post-game show in 2 minutes on KDSJ Sports.
At Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
You see them everywhere. That's because Heinzerling Concrete of Spearfish is the most trusted name for everything from driveways, sidewalks, decorative stamp patios, and of course, foundations. Heinzerling Concrete is proud to support the activities that help our area youth build their foundation for future success. Whatever the job, Heinzerling Concrete is the name you can trust. Google Heinzerling Concrete in Spearfish or call 210-2320.
Beef Logic Inc. is proud to sponsor South Dakota's high school and collegiate athletes this season as they work alongside their partners at the South Dakota Beef Industry Council to deliver the Build Your Base sports nutrition program at local high schools and colleges around the state and the country. Are you looking for a simple, easy-to-follow program that can help you and your family optimize performance both on and off the field of play? Check out buildyourbase.org and learn why beef continues to be the premier protein for athletic performance and recovery.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
I'm Cody Oliver along with Clayson Davis making the road trip out here to Pierre on this football Friday as the Spartans drop this one 35-15. As we take a look through the game summary of this one, the Pierre Governors on their first drive of the game, they get a touchdown as they took 5 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock. The Govs got a touchdown pass. The point after was good as they were up 7-0 there after their first drive. So with 6:23 left to go in the first quarter, the Pierre Governors strike first. That would be your score at the end of the first quarter. Also in that first quarter, there was an interception thrown by the Pierre Governors. It was picked off by Sire, but then Spearfish got the ball and it switched over to the second quarter. In the second quarter, the Pierre Governors would stop the Spearfish Spartans at the 1 yard line after that interception by Sire. It went from the first to the second quarter. Spearfish had it down at the 1 yard line. Almost was a pick six by Sire, but he was tackled at the 1. Then after a penalty and a sack, it ended up being a try for a field goal on fourth down, and they missed the 26-yard field goal. So it was still 7-0 Govs in the second quarter. Pierre Governors get a touchdown in the second quarter on their next drive with 4:27 left to go in the second. It was a 2-yard touchdown run. The point after was good, and Pierre was then up 14-0. Pierre would throw another interception. Sire would pick it off again there in that second quarter. but Spearfish was unable to do anything, and we went into halftime, Spearfish down 14-0 with about as many penalties as they had, well, more penalties, of course, than they had points, as they had about 13 penalties in that first half.
Yeah, that first half was pretty much a story of penalties, pretty much, as Spearfish really had all sorts of trouble trying to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball when really it would be a positive game, and then it would be pretty much a loss of about 2 to 3 yards each time. Spearfish really had any sort of trouble getting any sort of momentum going in the first quarter. It really started to compile on mistakes upon mistakes there at the ending of the half. As Spearfish, they had to really abandon the run game, something that they've really been their bread and butter the entire year. I think Hunter Walters maybe had 3 or 4 carries in that first half, and that was about it. As Spearfish really weren't able to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball, and going into halftime, they were playing pretty much catch up from the start.
The field conditions and the weather, other than being the coolest night for football this season, there was no moisture, no rain. The wind was blowing from left to right down the field, but the wind really never played a factor in this game with any of the kicking or the passing games. So you can take kind of the elements of the weather out. And then we go into the second half. Spearfish punted, then Pierre punted, then Spearfish throws an interception, and Pierre would make them pay as Pierre had a 12-play, 80-yard drive, capped off with a touchdown run. The point after was good. With 1:17 left to go in the third quarter, the Governors were up 21-0. That would be your score after 3 quarters. In the fourth, we had some offense. Spartans scored touchdown with 8:55 left to go in the fourth. That was on a Hunter Walters rushing touchdown. The point after was good. That made it 21-7. Then Pierre punted. Spearfish had a turnover on downs. That set up Pierre deep in Spearfish territory. Pierre didn't have to go too far. They get a touchdown pass to Scheffelbein. That was a 27-yard touchdown pass. The point after was good. 28-7 Pierre with 4:09 left to go. And then just 16 seconds later, after Spearfish fumbles the kickoff return, the Pierre Governors get a 3-yard touchdown run by Carter Merrill. With 3:53 left to play in the fourth quarter, Governors were in control. Spearfish did have a late touchdown run or a touchdown pass from Hughes to Doran. The 2-point conversion was good, and we had the final score of 35-15. Pierre Governors with a 20-point win here at home on senior night.
Yeah, so far it was a game pretty much that the Pierre Governors controlled from start to finish. As the run game early, they got Spearfish on their heels. The Wildcat quarterback, Elijah Bucci, he was a problem in the backfield the entire night on short yardage situations. Even on situations when he was stopped, they wouldn't even huddle up. They wouldn't even call a sign from the sidelines. The Pierre Governors knew what play was coming next, and it was that the entire game pretty much. As the Pierre Governors, they show why they're the defending 7-time state champions for a reason, as they took care of business here against a Spearfish Spartan team. And for the Spearfish Spartans, man, you almost have to go back to the drawing board and really just try to gather what all you can learn from this one. And the main things that we've learned from this game is penalties and mental mistakes that have really plagued Spearfish kind of throughout this whole season. And when they don't make mental mistakes and they're able to really rally up and stay mentally tough and focused, they can pull out upsets like we saw against Watertown. And but then again, you come on the road and against the 7-time defending state champions, you have penalties, you give them more opportunities, you give them yardage, and they're just not able to get any sort of momentum going early in the game. As we were talking about on the way up here, Cody, this game could very well easily be decided within that swing 8, and that swing 8 was easily won by the Pierre Governors, and it just snowballed into a 20-point win over the number 2 team in the state.
Governors had the best defense that we've seen all year, and they showed it tonight, only allowing the 2 touchdowns there late in the game in the fourth quarter. As the Pierre goes to 4-4, Spearfish drops to 6-2. Your season's not over, though, for the Spartans. We have a big rivalry game at home next Thursday night, and then just kind of wait and see how things go with the seeding points, how your playoff matchup will be, where you'll be, who you'll play against. But as Coach Teason has said, start off every week 0-0, and think about what you need to do again next Thursday against Sturgis. As we say thanks to Exit 14 and Exit 8 Phillips 66. Also thanks to Gold Dust and Maverick Steakhouse on Main Street in Deadwood. Thanks to Minerals Technologies, American Colloid Company as well. We'll be back with more of our post-game show as we have our player of the game selection coming up next in 2 minutes.
American Colloid, a minerals technologies company, is not only part of the community we live in, they are the community. Bentonite clay, mined right here in our own backyard near Belfouche in Colony, Wyoming, provides a contributing factor to this area's economic success. This unique product has a huge range of uses, from the main component in cat litter to health and beauty products, pharmaceuticals, and more. It's all produced right here in all of our community. American Colloid Company, working together, winning together.
For over 10 years, Allied Construction has been a trusted name in the Black Hills, providing top-quality construction services to our local community. We take pride in being a local business with deep roots in the area. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust us to deliver exceptional results on every project. Our team is dedicated to providing personalized service, ensuring your project gets the attention and expertise it deserves.
Check out their website today. Click alliedconstruction.com or find them on Facebook. It's not one, but two great locations in Spearfish to gas up and get what you need on the go. Exit 8 and Exit 14 Speedy Marts offer everything you need so you can get in and get out and get back on the road. Find your favorite snacks and a cold drink, or maybe something fresh from the kitchen or in the cold case. It's all homemade right here. And Exit 8 and Exit 14 offers top-tier fuels from Phillips 66, so you get the most from your transportation. Exit 8 and 14 Speedy Marts in Spearfish. Right off the road, right on the money.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight here on KDSJ Sports, as Pierre had the advantage after the first quarter, 7-0. They led it 14-0 at halftime. They were up 21-0 after 3 quarters, and your final score, Pierre 35 and Spearfish 15, as the Pierre Governors get back to 500 at 4-4 in the season. Spearfish drops to 6-2. Yeah, kind of like just another night in Class 11 AA, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. As really Class 11A AA makes really no sense the entire year. There's been upsets upon upsets. This is technically an upset on paper if you look at it, and it was a pretty by 20 points, so a pretty wide margin as well. As just another day in Class 11 AA this fall season.
Time now to name our player of the game. It's our Superior Performance, being brought to you by Superior Auto Solutions. Call 605-642-9111 or see their inventory online at superioroutosd.com. That's Superior Auto Solutions in Spearfish. And tonight's Superior Performer is...
We're going to go with Lathan Lucas, the linebacker for Spearfish, as really had a good job defensively. He was all over the field defensively, really stopping the running plays for Pierre. Was able to get a body on a ball carrier and bring him down. Was able to be one of the few to tackle the Wildcat quarterback for Pierre and Bucci. But Lathan Lucas might not be good luck if he gets player of the game, because this is his second player of the game and also comes with Spearfish's second loss. But Lathan Lucas, great linebacker, a junior for the Spearfish Spartans. We'll have him for another year. He is rewarded with our Superior Performer player of the game for the Spearfish Spartans.
He also played some offense tonight for the Spearfish Spartans in a losing effort, as they lose their second game on the road this year, as they lose tonight 35-15 to the Pierre Governors. Head coach of the Govs, Steve Steele, got his team every week going to get more healthy, and confidence is building now as they go to Douglas next Thursday. So they should be able to take care of business there and look ahead to the postseason. While the Spearfish Spartans, they need to look ahead, but they need to change some things probably and get a lot better if they want to contend in the postseason, as they'll be at home against Sturgis next Thursday night. The Spearfish Spartans getting both of their touchdowns in the fourth quarter on a Hunter Walters rushing touchdown and also a passing touchdown from Hughes to Dylan Dorn. We'll come on back with your Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard as part of our post-game show tonight on KDSJ Sports.
Today are complicated and expensive. The professionals at Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Spearfish are here to guide you through everything automotive. From cars, trucks, and SUVs to parts and repairs, Junix takes the confusion out of automobile ownership. Enjoy the ride with Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Family owned since 1931 on West Jackson in Spearfish.
Whatever the weather, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating keeps you in the comfort zone with expert heating and air conditioning repair or replacement from American Standard Mitsubishi. For over 70 years, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating has delivered quality service to the Northern Hills and Northeast Wyoming. When you need timely, expert service for heating, cooling, or plumbing, call 605-642-5755 or search Wolf's Plumbing and Heating and stay in the comfort zone.
Fisher Sand and Gravel of Spearfish supports community and school athletics. Plus, they support community development with services in and around the Black Hills. Fisher is an aggregate company headquartered in Spearfish with 2 local commercial quarries in Beulah and Newcastle, Wyoming. They sell all sizes of aggregates for commercial and individual projects from a pickup load to thousands of tons. Whatever you need, Fisher Sand and Gravel, proud supporter of all community, college, and high school athletics. Good luck to all teams and athletes competing in today's game.
Drive it on to victory with the Granite Home Team at Granite Automotive. Making all the right moves and scoring points for a better customer experience is a true team effort. From sales to finance, showroom to service, every Granite Home Team member has a role to play and a job to perform to make sure your next buying experience is your best buying experience. Enthusiastically on your side. Drive Granite. Go team. Go Granite. Buick, Nissan, GMC. Rapid City. Click drivegranite.com.
For new
From the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard tonight, the Spearfish Spartans fall on the road to the Pierre Governors 35-15. The final score here at Hollister Field in Pierre in this Class 11 AA matchup, and another upset here in this division as Pierre, with a 3-4 record, take down the number 2 ranked Spearfish Spartans, who now dropped to 6-2 on the season. Let's see what other crazy things possibly happen tonight across this state, and maybe some non-surprises. We go over to Clayson Davis with our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard.
Yeah, looking at the scoreboard, we'll actually just keep it right here at 11AA and just see what other craziness went on. Again, the score of this one, Pierre 35 to Spearfish 15, an upset as the Pierre Governors, they're probably going to break into the top 5 again for the first time since the beginning of the season. Spearfish, they might possibly stay in that top 5 mark, but it could be toward the bottom end at that 4 or 5 hole, if anything. Watertown, Sturgis, they made a run late, but Watertown, ranked 3rd in Class AA, they win over Sturgis tonight at Woodlefield 35-24. Sioux Falls Lincoln in Class AAA, they took care of Aberdeen Central 53-2. Interesting score there. Number 1 Yankton, they took care of business. It's the first time in first time in as many weeks that the number 1 seed didn't lose, as Yankton took care of T Area today 28-7 there in T Area. It was a close one over there at Tiger Stadium in Huron, as the Huron Tigers escaped with a 3-point win over Mitchell 29-26. And it was number 4 Brookings on top of the Douglas Patriots tonight in Douglas, 42-7. Going to Class 11 AAA now, Sioux Falls, Washington took care of the rival Sioux Falls Roosevelt 42-7. O'Gorman, they are still going on at O'Gorman High School as Sioux Falls O'Gorman taking care of Rapid City Stevens 48-0. And Sioux Falls Jefferson, number 4 in the state, they took care of Rapid City Central 39-13. And Harrisburg in a battle of number 1 versus number 2, the top 2 teams in the top class of the state. Harrisburg jumped out to a 7-0 lead at the first quarter. They have yet to score as Brandon Valley has put on 21 unanswered. That Brandon Valley defense proving to be enough as Brandon Valley leads Harrisburg at 21-7 going into the fourth quarter there in Brandon. Going to 11A right now, Rapid City Christian wins over Custer 44-7. Belle Fourche, they put a 50-piece on Lakota Tech as they beat Lakota Tech 50-0 as Belle Fourche, they get their first win on the season. For Class 11A, was Sioux Falls Christian taking care of Del Rapids, number 1 Sioux Falls Christian over number 3 Del Rapids, proving why they're the number 1 team in the state as they beat Del Rapids 21-0. Going to 11B now, St. Thomas More puts 55 up on Lee Deadwood as the Cavaliers beat the Gold Diggers at Ferguson Field tonight 55-0. Number 1 winner proves why they're the number 1 team in the state. They beat Chamberlain 46-0. In a battle of top 5 teams in Class 11B, it was Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central 20, losing to number 5 Mount Vernon Plankington 22-20. And then in the other top 5 battle going on in 11B, it was Elk Point Jefferson, number 3, falling to number 2 Sioux Valley 17-14. Going to 9-man football now. We start off with 9AA as Maryland Freeman Academy. They upset an 11B Avon 36-26. Avon gets their first loss of the year. Avon, of course, in 9B. It was number 5 Trip Delmont Armor ACDC 58 over Alcester Hudson 32. Looking at some more scores, number 1 Howard in Class 9A, they beat number 4 in Class AA Viborg Hurley 48-14. Stanley County over Potter County 54-12. Hamlin, number 2 over number 3 Elton Lake Benton 40-35. And with 7 minutes left to go in the third, it's Phillip 24 over New Underwood 12 for Class 9AA. Going to 9A, Cody Oliver, your Lemon McIntosh Cowboys put up 60 over the Faith Longhorns as the Lemon McIntosh beats Faith and Lemon 60-8. Lemon ends the year 0-8 on the season.
Faith ends the year 0-8.
Yes.
Yes, okay. On Wisconsin, dun, 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 dun. That's our Lemon fight song. Continue.
You and I had the same fight song and we had the same mascot. That's weird. Number 2, Wall, they took care of Lyman tonight 60-6. Dupree, they put up 50 over Timberlake. That one's still going, but just about to reach final. 50-20 over Timberlake. Dupree 50 over Timberlake 20. Numbers and letters got mixed up there. Looking at some more scores, see what all we haven't covered. We'll go to 9B, see if there's anything here that we missed. I don't believe there's any scores of interest except for number 5 in Class 9B, Canastota. They fell to Hanson, unranked Hanson, 11-6 tonight. And that's looking like that's it for our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. Again, in this one, Pierre, they pull out a win over number 2 Spearfish, 35-15 for another upset in Class 11 at AA here in Pierre.
Harding County Ranchers, they had their bye this week, so they'll be awaiting the playoffs coming up next Thursday for the smaller schools. So Harding County will probably be at home next week. Again, the Sturgis Scoopers, the next opponent for the Spearfish Spartans. Scoopers lose at home tonight to Watertown 35-24. The Gold Diggers lose at home to end their season, and Belle Fourche picks up a win for the first time this year. And again, our coverage of KDSJ Sports being brought to you by American Colloid Company. Also thanks to Granite Automotive, Crowline Equipment Rental up in Belfouche, and exit 14 and exit 8, Phillips 66. Let's have a couple finishing notes here for tonight as Spearfish comes up with the loss 35-15. The Spartans will be back in action next Thursday, and they will be at home against the Sturgis Scoopers. That'll be a 6 o'clock time. It'll be senior night next Thursday night for the Spartans, so they want to play for the seniors. They're playing for seeding points. They're playing on a rivalry. Should be a good one next week at Lyle Hare Stadium. And the Spearfish volleyball team was in action tonight. We'll try to get a final on that. I'm going to get Clayson Davis. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, let's see what I can get figured out here in class. We have no final that we've seen against Red Cloud.
Okay, they hosted Red Cloud, but no final yet. Okay. That started at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, so it's still in the 8 o'clock hour out there in the Black Hills. Let's see. This weekend, looking at some Spearfish Spartan Sports Knowledge Bowl, hosted by Spearfish tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And go check this out if you can. It is the Northern Hills Marching Band Competition. The pep bands and the marching bands around the Black Hills will be outdoors at Lyle Hare Stadium tomorrow beginning at 9 a.m. I think that is interesting, and that could be fun because those athletes put in as much time as any football players or volleyball players. They have to walk in formation and still play an instrument at the same time. That could be difficult enough for me. So check that out and hear some good tunes tomorrow there at Lyle Hare Stadium. Spartans will return home next Thursday to take on Sturgis. Spearfish is 6-2. They snapped their 3-game winning streak, and they'll take on Sturgis. And the Scoopers, I believe, will be coming in hungry to try to take down the Spartans next week. Pierre next Thursday will travel to Box Elder to take on the Douglas Patriots, who are still winless on the season. Our next football broadcast is the college football style tomorrow. Black Hill State at CSU Pueblo, 1 o'clock kickoff time right here on KDSJ Radio, 980 AM, 103.5 FM, KDSJ980.com, and also with the KDSJ Sports mobile app. Steve Ammerman with the call tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Thank you to Clayson Davis over on the KDSJ-TV side of things, taking care of all that over on YouTube and Facebook Live, and with camera angles and the graphics, and still doing our color analysts. Big thanks.
I try my best.
He gave me a thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Let's wrap this one up and get on the road home.
Sounds good to me.
35-15, Pierre Governors with the win as they pull away in the fourth quarter and get a win at home tonight. Thanks to all of our sponsors making the broadcast possible. Thanks to people coming together and have a watch party tonight down at Cadillac Jack's. We certainly appreciate that. Thank you to the staff there at Caddies for putting that on and putting up with us. We'll talk again tomorrow right here on KDSJ Sports.